The NFL. In just their second year, they're in the playoffs, contending for home field. And the cornerstone of the Carolina success story is a great defense that has allowed the fewest points in the NFL. And with that fierce pass rush, Beasley, they lead the NFL with 52 sacks.
Well, a lot of people are calling this Pittsburgh East because Dom Capers, the head coach, brought that blitzing, zone blitz, attacking style defense. He even got his man, Kevin Green, through free agency, and his partner in crime, Lamar Latham. They have 26 sacks between them. This defense has been splendid. Second half points, that's key, only 53. And third down efficiency, Don, that's the biggest stat up there, 31.7%.
And now in a 5-game win streak, the Carolina offense is coming of age because their second-year quarterback, Kerry Collins, he's coming off a career game last week in the upset of the 49ers.
Biggest game of his career, biggest game in this franchise's history, and he comes up with a huge day, 3 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Now, he had 19 interceptions as a rookie last season, only 7 this year.
The Baltimore Ravens have struggled badly on defense because of injuries. In fact, middle linebacker Ray Lewis, we're just told, is out today. But their offense has been terrific, led by Pro Bowler Vinny Testaverde with 29 touchdown passes, having a career year. But Vinny carries a heavy load today against a pass rush that is the best in the NFL. We'll have Vinny and the Ravens going up against the Carolina Panthers in a moment when we come back to Charlotte. Back to Charlotte, and the Baltimore Ravens have won the toss, so Carolina will kick off. This town is in a frenzy over Dom Capers' football team. An absolutely astounding success story. 10-4, and should the Green Bay Packers stumble in one of their final 2 games and Carolina wins both its final 2 games, this and next week against the Steelers here, Carolina could be on the home field through the NFC playoffs. Here's the kickoff. The ball is spun high but short, and it'll be returned from the 14-yard line as Randy Baldwin takes it out close to the 32-yard line. And there's Vinny Testaverde with 29 touchdown passes, heading to the Pro Bowl for the first time. Jonathan Ogden, the #1 pick of the Ravens, having a very good first year at left guard. Offensive line, a huge one. Testaverde has a better running game now that Bam Morris has joined the Ravens. Carwell Gardner, his blocker. Jackson and Alexander, 2 terrific wideouts, both over 1,000 yards receiving through the first 14 games. Crowd kicks in big here in Charlotte. As Testaverde looks to put it up on first down, they give him time. And Testaverde has no one to go to. And he is sacked by Kevin Green. 14.5 sacks, and Kevin Green is now the NFL leader. As we look at the defensive front 7 of Carolina. Reagan playing very well. See the Pro Bowlers, 3 of their 4 linebackers head to Honolulu in February. Green, Mills, and Latham. And so will cornerback Eric Davis, who made the game-saving interception last week at San Francisco. Loss on the play of 7 yards. On 2nd and 17, a blitz comes and they go to the run. Bam Morris takes it ahead, but only to the 29-yard line. It brings up third down and about 13, Beasley.
Don, a couple of things to look for in this game. We've had 2 plays, and we've seen 2 defensive fronts. So the Carolina defense will show you multiple sets. They'll try to confuse the quarterback. And on offense, on Ted Marchibroda's team, you'll take a look at the no-huddle offense 60 to 70% of the time. They're not in it right now, but Vinny calls his plays about 60% of the time, and they credit Baltimore's offensive success to the fact that Vinny's having a great season.
Here is where Carolina is particularly difficult for a quarterback. They blitz on long yardage, and here comes the blitz. Testaverde stands in. He throws downfield. He's picked off. Picking it off is Chad Cota, and he is back to the 30-yard line. So Chad Cota, a second-year defensive back from Oregon, makes the pick and runs it back to the 30-yard line. Testaverde's first throw, a disaster.
When you've got a great defense, it doesn't have to be the pressure, the perception of pressure by the quarterback. Benny had plenty of time. The pocket was not breaking down. The coverage was excellent downfield. You'll see it right here. And the safety steps in front. Benny never should have thrown it there because the man was in perfect position and well covered by Toy Cook.
That's the 19th interception by the Carolina defense. Now Collins throws downfield. He has Walls, his Pro Bowl tight end. Wesley Walls on an out pattern takes the ball inside the 15-yard line where Eric Turner hits him. As we look at the offensive front of the Carolina Panthers, Norberto Garrido, a rookie from Southern California, playing well at right tackle. Whole offensive line doing well. Anthony Johnson, the free agent runner, needs just 29 yards to get to 1,000 for the season. The Panthers challenging off this early interception and return of 20 yards by Chad Cota. Anthony Johnson running into the right side of the Ravens defense, takes the ball to about the 11 where big James Jones, number 97, knocks him down. As we look at the defensive front, the Ravens forced to go back to a 4-man defensive front because of the injury to another linebacker. Langham and Brady, the two corners, have been victimized. Turner's having a good year, has 5 interceptions.
There's Anthony Pleasant. John, he's one of the top defensive players on this team. Needs a big play now.
2nd and 8. Collins looks, throws to the end zone and overshoots. He was looking at Walls, his tight end, Wesley Walls, who has 51 catches for the season, including one today. 9 of them for touchdowns.
Walls came into this game tied with Mark Carrier. Carrier with an excellent season also. Both of these guys put up some big numbers this year. That's one of the best tight ends in the game.
Not a terrific blocker, but he is an excellent receiver. Last week he went to San Francisco. He started his career with the 49ers and caught 2 touchdown passes, did Wesley Walls from Ole Miss. 3rd down. Collins stands in. Big rush, and he has to throw the ball away. Good defensive pressure by the front, led by Anthony Pleasant of the Ravens. So the field goal unit comes out, and that's been a terrific part of this Carolina team. John Casey, about to try the field goal attempt, leads the NFL in scoring with 126 points. And 4 more field goals, and he'll set a single-season record.
Well, that's a good job by the Baltimore Ravens defense. I mean, this is exactly what you want to do, is give up only 3 points after a big turnover like that. So they have to consider that a success.
It would be. Castleverde's first throw of the day, intercepted by Chad Cota and run back 20 yards, and the ball is boomed up by Casey, and it's good. So Carolina does capitalize on the turnover, gets the field goal from Casey as he inches closer to the record, and the Carolina Panthers lead 3-0.
The NFL on NBC is brought to you by Brewery Fresh Budweiser, who reminds you fresh beer tastes better. By Staples, the office superstore. By Old Spice High Endurance Deodorant for long-lasting odor protection. Now you've got proof, not promises. And by Ford and your Ford dealer. Have you driven a Ford lately?
And back to Charlotte, where the Carolina Panthers have just taken a 3-0 lead and a 19-yard field goal by Casey. Now the kickoff coming downfield, taken at the 8-yard line, running it back, Randy Baldwin again, and he'll be knocked down at about the 24-yard line. So Vinny Testaverde getting some instruction from his quarterback coach, Don Strock.
Another thing to watch in this game is the special teams of Carolina. Their kick coverage team and their kick return team are among the best in the National Football League. Baltimore able to get that one out to about the 24 because it was a short kick. They average allowing their opponents to start around the 22, which is excellent.
We just saw Vinny's first pass of the day intercepted. It should be pointed out Carolina has not turned the ball over in 10 quarters, 2.5 games. Testaverde with a 1st and 10 play with a quick drop, a timing throw, and a good connection out ahead for a 9-yard gain as the linesman comes in and spots the ball out to the 33-yard line. Baltimore's been a tale of 2 teams. On offense, look at those numbers, Beasley, then look at the defense.
Well, it's like a nightmare on defense, mostly because of injuries. You see number 1 in offense in total yards and number 28 on defense in total yards. Right down the line, those stats show that this is a Jekyll and Hyde football team. Ted Marchibroda was saying the odd thing is that most of their injuries have come on one side of the ball. You expect injuries in football, but almost all of their injuries have been defensive. Steve Everett is the only major offensive injury for the season for Baltimore.
Referee Mike Carey with a pronouncement here. Ball is spotted at the 33-yard line where we make it 2nd down and 1. Carolina, if you're going to score on them, you better do it in the first half because they allow less than 4 points a game in the second half. The Panthers unbeaten at home. They're 6-0. Don Capers' team playing great football. At home, they allow barely over a point per game in the second half. The Ravens are 0-7 on the road this year. Hand off. Bam Morris working hard, and he's shut down as Bam Morris tries to go to the right side. Gerald Williams, a former Pittsburgh Steeler, number 98, was on the play. Loss of about a yard.
What I love about this team, Don, is the emotion that they play with. The Panthers play with tremendous emotion. There's a big score right there, Don. San Francisco up on Pittsburgh 7-0. That's big when it comes to the playoffs with these two teams, Panthers and the 49ers.
If they both finish, Carolina and San Francisco, at the same records, Carolina would win the division by virtue of head-to-head competition. They've beaten the 49ers twice. Bam Morris on 3rd and short is thrown back. He didn't get there. He's going to be less than a yard short, it appears, but it looks like the lineman is definitely going to spot him short.
The emotion of this Panthers defense is what you should really key on. And I think Kevin Green has been a big addition when it comes to that. He's an emotional guy. He is, without question, he's become their leader. And one of the reasons that he's really taken off so quickly is that, of course, he played for Dom Capers at Pittsburgh, played for Pittsburgh. So it's the same defense, same terminology, same defensive scheme. So he's been able to come right in and do a heck of a job.
He doesn't even want to talk about the Steelers. He'll be seeing them next week when they come here to Charlotte. That was not a happy ending for his career at Pittsburgh, but he's been renewed here playing for his former defensive coach at Pittsburgh, Dom Capers. Players all talk about him as a guy that never tears down, never belittles. Very infrequent criticism. He's a very positive coach, and he gets positive results. So the Ravens get the first down. And they drive on now, trailing 3-0 in the first quarter. A quick out goes to Derek Alexander. Turning upfield, a judo throw by Eric Davis takes him down. 5-yard gain.
That was a nice little right cross that he threw over the top of that to bring Alexander down. Alexander with a heck of a year this year. He's an alternate to the Pro Bowl. But that man right there has had one heck of a season.
Well, he illustrates what Bill Polian, the general manager of this team, has done. He signed him from San Francisco where he was a Pro Bowl player. He made the game-saving interception. And the guy that replaced him at San Francisco, Drakeford, was beaten twice last week by Carolina for touchdowns. Here's a handoff to Bam Morris, and the big blaster takes it across the 45-yard line. Free safety Pat Terrell knocked him down, but it's a first down for the Ravens.
Well, Marchibroda raves over Bam Morris. He says that he's been a very positive influence on the team in the locker room. He's a fun guy, outgoing, keeps everybody up in practice, and it doesn't hurt that he's a huge body and a very good running back.
240 pounds, a huge body, and he can move fast. Spread formation now. One set back for Baltimore. Testaverde is in. Here's the rush, and he swings it up the middle looking for a screen to be set up. But it looked like Bam Morris was taken down, so that's who it was to go to. It was a good-looking play if Dan had his footing.
Boy, it really was shaping up to be a good play. This is a middle screen. Look at the rush. Block. See, there's Bam. Bam puts a chop block on somebody or fakes like he's going to block Sam Mills and then tried to slip into the open to catch a middle screen. But that Carolina pressure just broke everything down.
Carolina getting a lot of pressure right up the middle at Testaverde. Second down arises. Testaverde and the Ravens need 10. Quick timing throw, and a ball skips off the hands of Derek Alexander on a slant. Eric Davis was covering, and that was perilously close to another interception as the ball was flying free in the secondary.
Close to an interception and close to a knockout. That's probably one of the reasons that Derek had to let... Uh-oh, this would be very bad news. This is Kevin Green who's down, Don.
Pro Bowl linebacker who had a sack earlier, bring his total to an NFL leading 14.5. Testaverde now 2 for 5 throwing the ball for 15 yards, and of course the 1 interception on his first throw. It was subsequently turned into a 3-point lead for Carolina.
Take a look at the right tackle here. That's Orlando Brown. The good news is that Kevin Green's okay, but watch him whip. See that knee? The leg comes around and it kicks Kevin Green right on the knee, so it's just a hit injury. He's all right.
Dwayne Bickett is in for him. Here's a throw downfield, beautifully triggered in by Vinny Testaverde. What a throw to Michael Jackson, his 67th catch of the year. As Green still being attended to, but it looks like he's ready to get back out there.
Yeah, he's ready to go. He's the emotional leader of this team. And back to this throw, I want you to notice, Don, this ball, Michael is not even looking in that direction. This ball comes in the air before he turns around. See, it's there. It's halfway there before he even turns around. That timing is excellent.
So Baltimore starting to move the ball, trailing 3-0 in the first quarter. Testaverde buys some time, throws again, and another nicely played ball by a very underrated player, the tight end, Brian Kinchen. And that is Brian's 43rd catch of the year. Nobody talks about this guy, but he's one of the best receiving tight ends in the league.
It really is. That was a solid pattern. Little play action fake in there. And you'll see Vinny with the boot all the time. He does that a lot, and that ball is placed in the perfect position away from the defender.
Baltimore is terrific at building first-half leads. Here is Bam Morris protecting the ball with both arms as the Panthers looking to strip it, and Bam's inside the 25-yard line, and he's down to the 23.
You know, Bam Morris told us that he knows how Don Capers is going to coach a defense. They're going to be very aggressive at me. They're going to hit me low. They're going to try to strip the ball away from me. Also, speaking of Bam Morris, was Kevin Green in our meeting yesterday, and Kevin talked about how much he respects Bam Morris as the man, and he said, Don, that Pittsburgh turned their back on Bam Morris when he got in that trouble, and he didn't appreciate that.
Well, they right now are appreciating Bam in Baltimore. Testaverde on second down takes a look, fires, and he comes in high. 40 pounds, very strong of arm, and that brings up third down. He was shooting at his tight end, Brian Kinchen. Yesterday, Ted Marchibroda, the head coach of the Baltimore Ravens, telling us he's never been around a harder working quarterback in his 30-plus years in the NFL.
You know, Don, the offensive line there gave Vinny all the time in the world. So far, he's been very comfortable. Look at the average size of Baltimore's offensive line. 6'6", 316. That's as big as it gets. And they've been doing a pretty good job giving Vinny time to survey the field.
Baltimore skyline. Testaverde on third down. Here comes the right. Going to the end zone. The ball is caught. Touchdown, Baltimore. Michael Jackson on a tip ball goes up over Eric Davis, the Pro Bowl cornerback, and on a third down desperation heave, the Ravens are on the board.
Well, it's a simple mismatch in height. Now, Michael Jackson is 6'4", Eric Davis is 5'11". So Eric has to go up to the very pinnacle of his leaping ability just to get his fingers on this ball. And watch how Michael back in the back, just there, up high with the catch to bring it in for the touchdown.
Michael Jackson with his 68th catch of the year, his 11th touchdown reception. Now the point after by Matt Stover is powered up and through as Testaverde's building some impressive numbers, 66 yards passing on 5 of 9 completions. And the Ravens take the lead. Michael Jackson of the Baltimore Ravens with his 11th touchdown reception of the season, culminating a 76-yard drive. Vinny Testaverde with his 30th touchdown pass. It's a 7-3 game Baltimore. High spinning kick. As they come up on the ball, this is Winslow Oliver, a rookie from New Mexico, only 5'7", but very fast. And he takes it out across the 30, close to the 33-yard line. Tackled on the play by Carwell Gardner.
Don, let's take a look back at the touchdown. Now, Vinny Testaverde knows that his wide receiver is 6'4", and that the cornerback that he's working against, Eric Davis, is 5'11". In fact, all of the cornerbacks for the Panthers are 5'11" or 5'8", so this is like shooting a three-point basket. He throws it up high, figuring that his athlete with the height advantage is going to be able to come down with it, and that time it worked.
Let's see if Kerry Collins can move the ball downfield now. He's 1 for 3 for 16 yards. Here's a throw and a catch, and a hard stick put on by linebacker Ed Sutter as he sticks Anthony Johnson, making his 20th catch. As we check the 10-minute ticker, another Vinatieri field goal, and the Patriots have built their lead to 6-0 at Irving, Texas over the Cowboys. San Francisco at the moment laying waste to the Steelers at Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh comes into Carolina next week. Second down. Panthers need 7. The handoff goes to Anthony Johnson, working hard for yards. One thing about this Baltimore team, Beasley, they've had a lot of tough luck this year, but they don't quit. Playing hard for 4 quarters. In fact, they've led in the second half. Their last 9 games, but have only won 2 of them.
It is a team that Coach Ted says has not quit on him. It is simply a fact of an overwhelming number of injuries on one side of the football team, being the defensive side, that has basically taken this team out of contention. It's a good football team with a great offense, and when everybody's healthy, it's a pretty good defense.
And they're going to draft for defense, looking for a pass rusher in the upcoming draft. Kerry Collins on 3rd down, fires over the middle, and he is almost intercepted. Intercepted is coming up on the ball was Eric Turner, the free safety. So the Panthers 3 downs and out on the offensive end, and the punter is back out on the field.
Dunn, these teams match up pretty good, as you see the play here that Eric Turner makes diving out to knock that ball away. But the strength of Carolina is defense. The strength of Baltimore is offense. The other sides of the ball are about average, so this should be a heck of a football game. Very well matched up.
Ron Stark punts it down. Here is Jermaine Lewis coming up on the ball, living dangerously. The rookie from Maryland. People all around him, yet he fields it cleanly and takes it to the 25-yard line, where Chad Cota, who had the interception, made the stop. And back to Charlotte, North Carolina, and what a great city this has evolved into, a real boom town in the Mid-South, with the best football stadium, many say, in all of football. 72,000 strong here for every game. Baltimore has embraced the Ravens beautifully. In fact, with 2,500 tickets still for sale. If they have those sold next week, it'll be the 10th consecutive sellout since the Ravens have gone to Baltimore, including their 2 preseason games and their first 7 home games. They'll be at home against Houston next week at Memorial Stadium. 2,500 tickets remaining. Vinny Testaverde, first throw was an interception, but now he's starting to light it up. His 30th touchdown pass of the season has put the Ravens in front 7-3. Bam Morris banging hard. He comes in with almost 600 yards rushing, joining the Ravens late in the season. Sam Mills, a Pro Bowl linebacker, made the stop.
Sam Mills is one of the great stories in the NFL.
Is he?
I mean, this guy is, when he walked in our meeting room yesterday, he looked like somebody's little brother. He's about 5'9", tenacious, intelligent. He gets the great leverage on every offensive lineman, partly because he's already down low.
Jim Mora has been in football 40 years, says he's the greatest player he's ever been around. He coached him at New Orleans. Here is a hard stick put on Bam Morris by Sam Mills. It's actually his 14th year in pro football. He spent 3 years in the U.S. Football League. He was originally a free agent and cut by the Cleveland Browns. Went to Canada, to Toronto. Said he ran out of leagues. Unfortunately, the USFL started.
That's a great story.
Tremendous guy. As you point out, he's the professor of football out there. Never out of position, makes all the defensive calls. Third down. Ravens need 2, and Vinny's going to throw for it. Going long to Michael Jackson, and he loses the ball at the 38-yard line, near sideline. So the Ravens holding nothing back.
Well, Vinny missed the touchdown there because, without question, Michael Jackson had Eric Davis beaten on the play. The ball is just a little bit wide, so Michael's concerned about staying in bounds and catching the ball. See right there, just a little wide on the throw. Certainly Jackson had a step on him. That should have been 6. See, the ball pulls him all the way out of bounds.
Tampa Bay has gone in front of the Vikings at Minneapolis 7-0.
Tampa Bay starting to play some football.
They are.
Their quarterback is not making any more crazy mistakes, starting to grow up a little bit.
Greg Montgomery punched the ball down to Winslow Oliver, and look at him tracking ahead through the big bodies and getting the ball back to the 35-yard line, where he's finally taken down by Dexter Daniels. A 46-yard punt and a 15-yard return.
Winslow Oliver is 5'7" and can fly. Great quickness.
Next Saturday, NBC Sports presents more exciting NFL action at the special time of 12 noon Eastern with the NFL on NBC. Then watch Drew Bledsoe and the New England Patriots head to the Meadowlands of New Jersey to meet Dave Brown and the New York Giants. It is a special Saturday edition of the NFL on NBC. Next Saturday starting at 12 noon Eastern time. Carolina trailing on its home field 7-3. Anthony Johnson working hard, and then he is driven back on a head-on hit put on by linebacker Keith Goganius, number 50.
That was a perfectly played play from a defensive standpoint. Baltimore, anticipating the run, had 5 men across the line of scrimmage, and the linebackers were free. Goganius with a free, clear, hard shot on the play.
He really put a hard shot on him. And that brings up, after a gain of barely 2 yards, second and a long 8. Allen's a big quarterback like Testaverde at 6'5", almost 250 pounds. Looking to screen the ball, and he does. Here comes Anthony Johnson with a blocker. And another good defensive play. As coming up to make the play was Mike Kroll, linebacker 51, knocking it down short of a first down at the 43-yard line.
Don, that was very well set up. I mean, Baltimore had to really hustle to stop this play. Carolina set it up perfectly. Way downfield, number 52, Matt Elliott, had a crushing block. And, you know, that tells you a lot when your offensive linemen start getting 15, 20 yards downfield. See, look at everybody working. Look at downfield, number 52, Elliott. Blocking on Stephon Moore. That's great effort.
Now the Panthers on 3rd and 2 spread the offense. Raghib Ismail's in the game, and so is Winslow Oliver. Allen takes a look. Fires over the middle. He's got Oliver, and he has a first down. As the little back from New Mexico, right over the middle of the field in the heart of the Baltimore zone, is ahead for a gain of about 12 yards and a first down.
You take a look at him coming out of the backfield. This is very good coverage. Here he is sneaking out of the backfield, and there's nobody around him for a big block of space, and that's a very well set up play.
Ball down to the 46-yard line. Ted Marchibroda's defense standing tall so far in this game, allowing just a field goal. And that came after an interception return that brought the ball deep into the Baltimore end. Allen's with a good fake, buys time, fires downfield. Look at that throw and catch inside the 25-yard line. Mark Carrier is ahead for a first down, tackled by Eric Turner, but he's all the way down to the 23-yard line.
Mark Carrier has had a fantastic football season. Now, this is a great catch. Antonio Langham, great play fake to start it. Antonio Langham right there, number 38, almost gets a hand on it, and Carrier with the concentration to bring this in. Watch at the end of this play. See Mark Carrier almost get the right hand on that ball. That takes great concentration.
23-yard gain on the play, so the Panthers are challenging. Now they go to the run, and Anthony Johnson, a 7th-year runner from Notre Dame, weaves his way and finds his way close to the 20-yard line, a gain of about 3 yards on the play, as Anthony Johnson inches closer to a 1,000-yard season. His Previous years in the NFL, he only has a total of about 1,100 yards for all his previous 6 seasons rushing. He's been more of a pass receiver when he was with the Colts and a special teams player. As the first quarter is winding down and out, that'll do it for the first 15 minutes of play. So the underdog Baltimore Ravens in the lead 7-3. With the Carolina Panthers challenging when we come back as the NFL on NBC continues. Down Criqui with Beasley Reese back at Charlotte, North Carolina, where second-year quarterback Kerry Collins on a good throw a moment ago has his team down close, but they're trailing in the game 7-3 as we look, Beasley, at these first quarter numbers.
I tell you, it's pretty much even across the board except for the turnover by Vinny Testaverde, that first throw. But up and down the line, this is a close contest, as I expected, because they match up pretty good together.
Well, the Ravens, despite their 4-10 record, they're in every game. Art Nordell, their owner, said they sees nothing major in restructuring that's needed. They're going to fine-tune in the offseason. Here is a throw and a catch. Mark Carrier, and a penalty marker comes in late. Eric Turner with a hard hit to make the stop. Somebody could have come in after that. Might be against the defense.
There's a flag down on the play.
On the opening play of the second quarter, here's referee Mike Carey.
Face mask on the defense, number 97.
James Jones got a piece of the face mask. Play was good for a first down as it went. Ted Marchibroda now sees his team challenged. Still holding though to the 4-point lead, 7-3.
Mark Carrier on the catch there, a nice move ducking underneath. The move so nice that they had to grab him any way they could, creating the foul. But Vinny Testaverde and Mark Carrier once played together in Tampa. They still work out together in the offseason. They both live in the Tampa Bay area. Carrier off to a great season, closing out a great season.
Yes, he is. He comes in with 50 catches, 5 for touchdowns. Here is a handoff and straight ahead down to the 2-yard line goes Anthony Johnson. As Carolina methodically moving the ball downfield, mixing the run and the pass.
Anthony Johnson coming into this game very close to 1,000 yards on the season. Here's a look at the blocking on the right side. You see that he gets excellent support from number 52. Again, Matt Elliott pulling from the backside. And Anthony's all about effort, second effort.
Love getting a chance here. Their number 1 draft choice, Biaka Batuka, went down with a knee injury, and Johnson stepped in and has played to Pro Bowl levels, although he wasn't selected for the team. And here is Johnson off the right side. He's in the end zone. So Anthony Johnson with his 6th rushing touchdown. The Carolina Panthers take the lead, going for their 6th consecutive win. And 72,000 stand in salute.
Well, this one is a credit to the offensive line. That's Frank Garcia, Greg Skrepenak. Those guys on the right side, Elliott, have been calling his name out a lot. Good blocking.
Now the NFL's leading scorer, John Casey of the Carolina Panthers, adds 1 more. And the Panthers are in the lead, 10-7 with 13:42 to play in the first half.
The NFL on NBC is brought to you by Pontiac and your local Pontiac dealer. We are driving excitement. By the adjustable Maverick beard and mustache trimmers from Norelco. By Interstate Batteries, power, fast, built to last. And by Compact. Has it changed your life yet?
The Carolina Panther looming large outside the stadium. They have no real Panthers here. They could clear the house out. One of the few animals that kills for the sake of killing, a Black Panther. Randy Baldwin takes the ball at the 2-yard line and takes it straight ahead across the 20, out across the 25, and Randy Baldwin works his way to the 31 on a well-done kick return. So Testaverde getting that last-minute advice from quarterback coach Don Strock comes back out.
Take a look at number 52, Elliott, the left guard for Carolina, how he pulls and gets in front of Anthony Johnson. Perfect block at the point of attack. setting up a touchdown. Elliott has graded out 100 in my book so far this game. I've called him out, singled him out for blocking 15 yards downfield. He's made some super blocks at the point of attack.
Yes, he has. Testaverde and the Ravens contending with a lot of crowd noise. Now they show Coda on a blitz as the nickelback comes up. As he's going after him, an all-out blitz, and they pick it up beautifully. Great blitz protection by the Ravens. But then a very good stick on the outside as Bam Morris took the swing pass and took the full brunt of 260-pound linebacker Lamar Latham.
This is impressive. The pickup drills that these guys must have put in have been excellent. Here's a missed tackle by Lamar Latham. Now, Bam Morris and Lamar are about the same size. So when they run into each other, there's a neutralizing effect. But Baltimore did a heck of a job picking up that blitz. They have not been confused, not once, by this complicated blitz package of Carolina.
No, they haven't. Kirk Ferentz, their assistant head coach and offensive line coach, has them ready. Bam Morris tries to run on 2nd down and 9. He did well just to get to the line of scrimmage, the 35-yard line. So now Beasley, Vinny's got to drop back and throw. But first, a banged up Baltimore Raven has to be attended to, and that is their sensational young offensive guard, Jonathan Ogden, #1 draft choice from UCLA.
Jonathan is having super seasons.
He is. Like he said yesterday when we met with him, he's gratified that people talked about him for the Pro Bowl. He wasn't selected, but he was certainly in the conversations.
Well, let's see what happens to him here. Bam Morris runs up his back, and sometimes you'll get caught in a bad position. You're blocking.
So while big Jonathan Ogden is attended to, there's a break in the action with Carolina in the lead. Jonathan Ogden was up, seemed to be all right, being attended to on the sideline. Offensive guard for Baltimore. A throwing down arises now for Testaverde and the Ravens. They're down. They need a long 8. Almost 9. Again, a good blitz pickup, but they get him. Latham comes through. He now has 13.5 sacks. So the Pro Bowl outside linebackers, each with a sack today. They say, Beasley, they fan each other's fire for sacks. They're competing with each other.
The competition between these two guys is as fierce as when they're playing someone else. Now, this time, both men line up on the same side. Both men on the left side of the formation. That's one of those unique lineups that they come up with, do the Panthers, that confuse an offense.
Greg Montgomery punts the ball way downfield. The rookie, Winslow Oliver, backpedaling to his 13. And takes the ball back out to the 25-yard line, taken down there by Stevan Moore. And there, the Baltimore Ravens leading in the game, go on offense. Green Bay leading Detroit 10-0. So the Packers, with the home field advantage in the NFC, they win their last 2.
10 at the 25-yard line.
Road to the Super Bowl in the NFC will go through Green Bay, Wisconsin. But if they should finish at 12-4, and as mentioned, the Carolina Panthers also finish at 12-4, right now Carolina has the tiebreaker advantage.
They do. I believe we have a illegal man downfield on the punt. See what the Panthers decide to do about that.
Ogden, we're told, jammed his neck on that play, and they're checking him out. He is expected to return. 11:48 to play in the first half. So Ted Marchibroda's team is now sent back to do it all over again. Greg Montgomery, who got off a tremendous punt, 59-yard punt, and then the 13-yard return by Winslow Oliver. Now Montgomery is backed up, and he'll punt the ball from somewhere around his 10-yard line. Jonathan Ogden, 6'9", 330 pounds.
You add in the last Afro in America, and he's a 7-footer.
Yeah, he's an interesting guy. Father's a prominent attorney in Washington, D.C. He's thinking about eventually going to law school. Another tremendous impetus put into that ball by the right foot of Montgomery. Oliver fumbles the ball, picks it up. He's like the pinball wizard, Winslow Oliver, and finally got 3 guys grab him and sit on him. Make sure he's down. Ernest Biner was the first one there.
Like I said, Oliver is about 5'7". Now, those guys have a tremendous advantage. See why he misses that kick when he took his eye off of it right at the last second, so it landed on his shoulder pad. But at 5'7", you have a tremendous low center of gravity, and you're able to make these tremendous stop and goes.
Hey, they're really punting the ball here, Beasley. That was a 56-yarder by Greg Montgomery. And yet another Baltimore Ravens being attended to. So the Ravens getting nicked off and early. Player down at the 19-yard line.
Well, looks like a linebacker, and
you see him getting up.
Yeah.
It's from Penn State, a former Buffalo Bill.
Yes. Well, Baltimore can't afford to have any more. They won't be able to finish the final game next season.
They had to go to a 4-3 defense today rather than 3-4 because they lost another linebacker. Ray Lewis couldn't go because of a hip involvement. It acted up during the pregame warm-ups.
Boy. See, Goganius is injured when 3 or 4 players fall on top of his leg as he's rolling over. Looks like he's okay, though.
Ernest Biner was also shaken up. Next Saturday at 4 o'clock Eastern Time, join NBC Sports for the Lexus Challenge, hosted by Raymond Floyd. Celebrities Kevin Costner, Joe Pesci, Sean Connery, and Ken Griffey Jr. and others pair up with golf's biggest names like Arnold Palmer, Chichi Rodriguez, and host Raymond Floyd. Coverage begins next Saturday at 4 o'clock Eastern Time here on NBC, the Lexus Challenge. The Carolina Panthers, one of the NFL's most remarkable success stories, in the playoffs already in just their 2nd year in the league with a 10-4 record. Leading on their home field, Collins throws the out ball, nicely taken in by Mark Carrier. And he's ahead on a first down play, close to the 33-yard line and very close to a first down.
Well, you see the talent of Mark Carrier, but that's a super throw by Collins. And, you know, he's been very efficient with the football. And Don Capers told him efficiency is better than spectacular. So he hasn't made a lot of mistakes. Last year, 19 interceptions. This year, only 7. And Don, 3 of those came against Minnesota after he had a 3-week layoff because of an injury. So he was a little rusty, but all in all, this guy has had a very good season for a 2nd-year quarterback.
He has, and of course the excellent game he had last week, throwing for 327 yards and 3 touchdowns in the upset of the 49ers. And he told us yesterday, Kerry Collins, that he really felt that performance put to rest a lot of the questions about him. And he is an excellent player in his 2nd year out of Penn State. Bill Polian looked at all the quarterbacks. He wanted to build this franchise, along with Dom Capers and Mike McCormick, the president, by signing free agents for defense. Said you can build quickly with a good defense and a good kicking game, and then you draft for offense. Yet that has to come of age over a period of time. Here's how the Carolina Panthers were built. 19 free agents.
And 11 guys, only 11 guys through the draft are on this team right now. So you see there's Bill Polian. You see what his plan was. Get the veterans in. It's the 4th oldest team in the NFL. Average of 5.17 years of experience.
Hand up right up the middle. Like he shot out of the blocks. Running back Anthony Johnson takes it straight ahead for a first down close to the 40-yard line, where linebacker Ed Sutter knocked him down. Collins Beasley with some very impressive passing numbers.
Well, he's got 78 yards already, 7 of 10. So at 70%, even I can do that math.
Yeah.
And no mistakes, no fumbles, no interceptions.
One turnover in the game. That was on Testaverde's first pass. He was intercepted, and Carolina kicked a field goal off it. Now a flea flicker. Collins looks, running out of time. Does make a connection. And so they get something out of it. Good defense by the Ravens. They had everything covered. Mike Kroll makes the hit on fullback Howard Griffith, who caught the ball. Number 30.
You see the fake here. It's given to Anthony. He throws it back, and now it's up to Carey to find people. He wants the home run straight down the middle. That wasn't there, but there were two levels of outlets available on the play. So well conceived offensively. If the big shot wasn't there, Carey had an outlet to go to.
Before long, the Panthers will be going to Willie Green to the top of your screen, number 86. Collins looks, throws near side, again gets Griffith, the fullback, a former Buffalo Bill who was signed as a free agent. A straight line runner and a good pass catcher. That's his 23rd catch of the year. As New England continues to lead at Dallas. 49ers in ill humor after losing at home to Carolina, winning big at Pittsburgh. Green Bay rolling on at Detroit. Vikings now get a touchdown from the former Raven Leroy Horde. Tie the game. New Orleans leading the Giants. Hand off again. Anthony Johnson takes it to the 45-yard line where James Jones knocks him down for Baltimore.
Anthony closing in on a 1,000-yard season. Should be very close to it now. Should be about 10 yards away from it.
And Anthony Johnson, Beasley, with 30 yards total on that carry, brings him up to 30 for the day. He is at 1,000 for the season.
That got him to 1,000.
Former co-captain at Notre Dame, who Lou Holtz called one of the most important players he's ever had, strictly from a leadership standpoint, let alone what he did on the field. Barry Collins fires downfield. He's picked off. Antonio Langham picks it off. Looked like the ball was going to be threaded in, and then Antonio Langham makes a nice break on the ball, gets his 4th interception, and Barry Collins and the Panthers are stopped.
Well, it's a zone principle, and you'll see that Antonio Langham is in a flat zone area, so they don't even see him coming. See, he's waiting out in this area, and when the ball is thrown, he runs underneath the play. And this is a misread by the quarterback, Don. See, he thinks that that flat's wide open, but there's a look at it. You see that the cornerback did have the flat.
So the turnover count is now even at 1 apiece. Baltimore down 10-7 with the ball after the interception by Antonio Langham. Bam Morris gets ahead for about 3 yards to the 37-yard line. Let's look at Langham's interception again.
All right, Don, these two guys have the flat. These safeties have half the field. Carey thinks that this is man-to-man. So you'll see that Antonio Langham will spin around. He's got the flat, and then watch him flash underneath to make the interception. That's a misread by the quarterback. He did not recognize cover 2.
Lloyd Turner returning to the lineup after an absence with some injuries. Going for the ball. Couldn't get to it. 3rd down comes up now. Brett Maxey. They've got big safeties on this Carolina team. Pat Terrell and Brett Maxey. Both 6'2", 210 pounds. They pack a load when they hit. Here comes the blitz package now. The leading sack team in the NFL as Testaverde changes the play. This crowd is something in Carolina. They're loving it. Dumps it over the middle. And turning upfield is Bam Morris, as Bam Morris is ahead for a 1st down. Bam gets ahead for a gain of about 18 yards on the play. And it is a 1st down for the Ravens as Pat Terrell finally got him down.
That's the value of Vinny Testaverde's ability to change the play at the line of scrimmage. Now watch Bam. He will look to see who he has to block. They know everyone's blitzing. If everyone's blitzing, then that whole section of 15 or 20 yards right behind the line of scrimmage is going to be open.
Testaverde throws again, gets a gain of about 6 yards down close to the 40. Going to his tight end, Brian Kinchin, with his 2nd catch of the day. He's 2nd down and 4. The hit was put on by the strong safety, Brett Maxey.
Vinny's calling all of the plays now. When they don't huddle up, they just kind of stand around and then walk into position. Vinny's telling everybody what the play is right now. That's a tremendous luxury. He's been sacked twice as Testaverde. Now
Now he throws and gets a man. Good read by Testaverde as he gets it to Bam Morris, and it's another first down for the Ravens.
Don, that's two beautiful moves by Bam Morris. There was only one alley open. There were two defenders to the outside. He froze them. This will be a great look at it. Now he'll freeze his, and Vinny can't find anything. His athletic ability, he finds Bam. They watch him freeze two guys and then go right up the inside for the nice gain.
Bam Morris getting a workout today. They give him the ball again on first down, and he's close to the 26-yard line. Taken down by big Mike Fox at 6'8", 295 pounds.
This is a key drive, no mistakes. Vinny once again in the no huddle, calling the offense based on the front that he sees the Panthers give him defensively.
And off to Bam Morris. And Bam again turns it upfield as it looked like they were going to get him in the backfield. And finally he's ahead and close to another Baltimore first down. Leading the blocking on the play was Jeff Blackshear, number 69, one of the guards. And Bam with over 60 yards total offense.
Bam is having a good day. You can expect Carolina to tighten up, show some man for man.
Back to Bam. They'll give it to him till they stop him, and this time on 3rd and short. He's ahead for a Baltimore first down. Chad Cota, the nickelback, makes the stop on the play, but it's a first down for the Ravens inside the 20-yard line of Carolina.
Chad Cota was blitzing right into the very hole that play was designed to run into. That's a, I don't know if you can call it a lucky call or a great call by the defense, but they had a man right in the right position.
Now Testaverde lofting it to the end zone, and he overshoots as there was good coverage on Michael Jackson, who caught the touchdown pass earlier. They've got two people on him, including a Chad Cota, 37. He's been a nice find, drafted in the 7th round last year. Out of Oregon, he's been a very effective player.
That was a smart play by Vinny. I believe that he threw that one just over everyone.
Testaverde, 10 of 16 throwing the ball for 102 yards and a touchdown. Firing down the middle, and the ball is stripped away at the last moment. Derek Alexander had his arms outstretched, and Eric Davis, who saved the game last week with the interception, tips it away along with Pat Terrell.
Now that one Baltimore would like to have over again. It was an all-out blitz. Everyone was blocked. Look at the play by number 25, Eric Davis. Whenever you pick up the blitz, an all-out blitz, that means you've got one-on-one, and Baltimore didn't take advantage.
One of the stories of this game has been the terrific blitz pickup of Baltimore's line. Testaverde on 3rd down. Sacked. Who gets credit for that one?
I'll tell you, the crowd gets credit for that one. I can't believe.
Miller got him, 69.
Don, I can't believe how loud this was.
It's unbelievable.
Oh, man. I tell you, the crowd, the Carolina crowd really stepped in and helped them out that time.
Matt Stover's on the field now to try a field goal. It's on the way, and it is right down the pipe, and the game is tied at 10-all. So with 5 minutes and a second to play in the first half, the Ravens have come back and tied the game. They'll kick off when we come back.
I talked about how loud it was right before that last play. Look at Vinny Testaverde telling his coach, you know, I just can't hear. Look at it. He's motioning at the communicator in his helmet, telling Coach Marchibroda that it's just too loud.
This really is as loud as any place I think we've ever been. It rivals an indoor stadium like the Kingdome in Seattle's heyday.
That was impressive. That crowd level was impressive.
Now the kickoff. Not going to carry too deep. Coming down with the ball is Michael Bates, who leads the NFL in kick returns with over 32 yards a try, but very good special teams play by the Ravens. Leading the way downfield to get him was Carwell Gardner again.
Once again, Don, I can't believe how big Kerry Collins is. I mean, he's so proportionate and so tall, you can't tell it looking there, but you're looking at about 245, 250 worth of quarterback.
It's a lot of quarterback. Tom Capers, the coach of the Carolina Panthers, talks about success. He said for every 10 people who can handle adversity, only one can handle success. And he's been preaching to his team to come back week after big wins. Crank it up all over again, and they've been doing that, although they're challenged fully today by the Ravens as Willie Green gets his first catch of the day. Now Dallas on a second Chris Boniall field goal has tied New England 6-all in the second quarter. San Francisco building that 16-0 lead in the first quarter at Pittsburgh. Green Bay continues to lead against the Lions. Second down and 5 coming up for Gary Collins and the Carolina Panthers. Quick pattern, daring throw. It's a first down. And more as they quick the ball to Willie Green as a terrific head fake and then spins right around and goes the other way.
Willie Green is one of the original 10s signed by this organization. This is back-to-back catches here. That's a good move, and he almost runs out of Stephon Moore's tackle attempt. But when you're talking about the original 10, they just got these guys from anywhere. So this is one of the great comeback stories. Out of football, gets an opportunity, now having a great season.
He's having a terrific year. Here's a pitch back. Anthony Johnson doesn't get much. He's ahead for about a yard, close to the 39-yard line, where a rookie cornerback, Donnie Brady, number 24, knocked him down, along with Stephon Moore, 27. And another Baltimore Ravens shaken up is backing his way off the field there. Number 97, James Jones.
Well, that's tough. They cannot afford to lose any more linemen or linebackers.
The Ravens have given up some deep balls this year. Collins could be going long before long. Takes a drop. He takes a look. Near side. Here's a penalty marker down on an incomplete pass. A marker down in the Carolina backfield. Could be a holding call on the offense. It is. That'll stop the clock with 3 minutes and 11 seconds to play in the first half.
Illegal hands to the face on the offense. Number 75, 10-yard penalty. It remains second down.
Skrepenak, the right guard, called for illegal hands to the face.
Skrepenak is the only offensive lineman on this team to start every game in the same position. So they've had some struggles moving guys around. They've had several different offensive line combinations, but Skrep has been in there every game.
Now he gets into pass block along with the rest as Collins throws again. A good throw to Walls on a long yardage play. It was a 2nd and 19 play, though it's well short of the first down. Brady with the catch.
You know, they talked about Kerry Collins, his delivery, his passing motion when he was coming out of college. There was some question, but Bill Polian told us there was no question whatsoever. He put him on tape against Elway, Kelly, Marino, and virtually no difference in the time of the delivery.
He timed them off against all the great quarterbacks in the league, and they were virtually all the same. Now there's motion to the right side of the Carolina Panthers line as the Ravens started their pass rush early. It'd be Skrepenak again. So the Panthers offense struggling here late in the second quarter.
Ball start on the offense. Number 75, 5-yard penalty, third down.
It is Skrepenak again.
Yep.
That got the right tackle going.
Yeah, that could.
Alberto Garrido, the rookie.
Both of them about the same time. So that's 2 penalties for both teams. Panthers 2 for 15 yards, and Ravens 2 for 10 yards in penalties.
And it brings up third down and 16 for Carolina. See if they blitz Kerry Collins here. They come. He gets some time, and now he's running out of it. Gets 3, fires the ball, and throws it downfield. Good defense by the Ravens. Nobody to go to. Big Dan Footman, number 78, was running down Collins when he threw the ball away. So Carolina has to punt the ball back to Baltimore, and the Ravens will have time. 2 minutes and 5 seconds to play in the first half. Game tied at 10-all. Jermaine Lewis, the rookie, is back deep for Baltimore. Ball hit by Ron Stark. He 3 times was a Pro Bowl punter with the Colts. And here is Jermaine Lewis weaving and twisting and getting to the 39-yard line. Knocked down by Andre Royal. The NFL on NBC continues, and Baltimore has the ball when we come back. No days off in the NFL, as Don Capers and his Carolina Panthers know. After winning last week, they have a tough opponent again today, albeit with a losing record.
Don, turnover ratio is one of the big stats in football. You ask the coach, he would tell you that I'd rather have more interceptions or recover more fumbles. Look at Carolina at +12. That's excellent. Look at the other teams. They're all good teams. Here's the tendency breaker. Cincinnati at +16. That's maybe the best in the league, but a 6-8 record. And today we see that Baltimore has won, Carolina won. Usually the team that wins the turnover battle is going to win the game.
That is usually the case. Both teams with 1 interception, and the intercepting team has turned it into a field goal. So we have a real push and offset on the turnovers as the handoff goes to Bam Morris on 1st down, and he works his way out close to the 45-yard line. Big Bam Morris from Texas Tech. A couple of years with the Steelers, was a 1,000-yard rusher one year. Brett Maxey, the strong safety, got him.
There they are, Baltimore, the no-huddle offense again.
Here comes the rush. Tip ball incomplete. As again, Testaverde was looking at Bam Morris, and he's been sacked 3 times today. 55 sacks for the season by Carolina, #1 in the NFL.
One of the great luxuries that Ted Marchibroda has is the fact that his quarterback calls 60 to 70% of the plays. So he can stand at the line of scrimmage, see what the defensive front is, call the play.
He just called this one. Now he stands in, fires over the middle. Look at that grab by the unheralded but outstanding tight end Brian Kinchin, who goes high. Guy makes plays game after game. He had one game not long ago. He's caught 9 balls in it. He's also the long snapper, so Brian Kinchin, a valuable part of the Ravens, and he has them in long field goal range.
Take a look at the play here. Here's a safety with half the field. There's another one you can't see. The weakness of this defense is straight up the middle. The tight end Kinchin recognizes the defense, converts up the middle. It's a big play.
And a 1st down on the big play. Testaverde looking for a dump-off man, and he finds one in Bam Morris. And Morris working hard, gets down to the 20-yard line.
Bam Morris is a pretty running big man. They can't wait to have him in the offseason program, get him in a little better shape this offseason, because he has really contributed in the few games that he's been here. Runs like a little man.
He does. A lot of shake in his run. A 14-yard gain after the reception. Back to Bam Morris, and he's inside the 20-yard line and down close to the 17 as the game clock ticks down to 1:02 to play in the 1st half.
You know, for the Carolina fans who are looking at Baltimore and don't get to see them a lot, it's a good football team. They've just had a lot of injuries. They've been in every game.
Testaverde fires to the end zone. Michael Jackson is there, and he's almost picked off. Beautifully defended on the play by Tyrone Poole, who was a #1 draft choice a year ago out of Fort Valley State. If he has one shortcoming, Ty Poole, it's his height. He's only 5'8", and the guy who was defending there is 6'4".
Well, I'm sure that Vinny wanted to get this one, make this a jumping contest. You see there were people falling around his feet. He didn't able to get that pass out like he wanted to. See, they wanted to have a jumping contest between 6'4" and 5'8".
But the ball came in low and was almost intercepted. Testaverde on 3rd down. Fires again. He's got a man, and it's a touchdown to Michael Jackson. And now a penalty marker is thrown in. Now, this is going to be interesting. Michael Jackson is in the end zone for the 2nd time. They're calling it off. No touchdown. Must have been an illegal pick.
Pass interference on the offense, number 81. 10-yard penalty.
Pass interference on the offense.
All righty, this is getting good. Let's find it. Man-for-man coverage. He goes into him, pushes off, and moves away. That's illegal.
A lot of guys do it.
Oh, yeah. Michael Irvin of Dallas should make a video on how to do it. He's the best at it.
And that sets the ball. The touchdown is negated, and the ball is now set back to the Panthers' 28-yard line. Third down comes up. Testaverde and the Ravens need 17. All-out blitz. It's picked up again. Long ball, open man, but overshot. Ray Etheridge, number 85, was sprinting in the end zone. Eric Davis, 25, defending. So that brings out the field goal kicker, Matt Stover, who struggled somewhat on 40-plus field goals. He's only 4 of 9 from the 40 to the 49-yard line.
You know, that's another reason that penalty was so devastating. You know, it takes away a touchdown, but it also makes it a more difficult field goal. This is right at the edge of Stover's ability.
Yeah, this will be a 46-yarder. If he hits it, it'll break a 10-10 tie. Kick is on the way. He seems to have enough. Wow. And it's good. So Matt Stover gives the Baltimore Ravens the lead for the second time in the game. They led early, 7-3. And then Carolina came back, took a 10-7 lead. Stover tied it with a field goal. Now he gives the Ravens the lead, 13-10 over the favorite Carolina Panthers.
Don, as we look at the kick again, you know that the kiss of death for Baltimore has been, you know, leading in the second half, leading in the fourth quarter, and then something happening. It's happened all year long. As Coach Ted pumped up.
Most of the time, they go to the locker room with the lead, do the Ravens.
Yeah. It's been something.
It's that darn second half you have to play every week.
It's that darn fourth quarter.
Coming up at halftime, the Domino's Pizza NFL and NBC halftime report. Joining Greg Gumbel in the studio will be Chris Collinsworth, Mike Ditka, and Joe Gibbs. Scores and highlights and preview of the second half of our doubleheader. The Raiders and the Broncos from Denver. Now, time is limited. Just 29 seconds left for Kerry Collins and the Carolina offense to work with as they'll try to get in long field goal range. They have a tremendous kicker in John Casey, who's headed to the Pro Bowl. The NFL's leading scorer this season. Good kickoff, hit downfield. They're going to run it out. Here comes Michael Bates, averaging 32 yards a kickoff return. And he's out to the 26-yard line. That time he ran it back 26 yards. Tackled on the play by Corey Dowden, who's been making some special teams plays for the Ravens.
You know, the thing that Michael Bates has going for him is world-class speed. In fact, he's an Olympic medalist. In 1992, he won the bronze in the 200-meter. He's so fast, he can start in one direction for 5 or 10 yards and then bring it back the other way once he influences the coverage team, and that's a great luxury. That gets you some yards.
And he was one of the Panthers' most brilliant free agent signings. He was completely out of football. He was just going about the rest of his life when he got a call from the Panthers, and here he is, a Pro Bowler. Downfield throw, too much on it. Ooh. Gary Collins throwing hard at wide receiver Willie Green, but comes in high.
Yeah, that one was not a good throw. Willie Green had about he was in the middle of about a 20-yard separation between two defenders.
So a familiar scenario unfolding here for the Baltimore Ravens, coming in with a 4-10 record against a 10-4 team. Week after week, the Ravens leading at halftime, leading in the second half. 9 straight games they've had second half leads, but have won only twice. Collins stands in, throws down the middle, and has too much lead on the ball for Mark Carrier. As the game clock is down to 15 seconds to play in the first half. Anthony Pleasant putting pressure on. Collins out of Penn State, a big winner for the Nittany Lions of Joe Paterno. You talked, Beasley, about that hitch in his throwing motion, but there's no problem with him delivering the ball. Came into the game today with 11 touchdown throws, 7 interceptions, and picked once today. Last week was his breakout game, 327 yards and 3 touchdowns at San Francisco. Now he throws near side. What a throw to Wesley Walls out to the 43-yard line, a first down, but there's only 7 seconds left in the half.
Well, that's a big-time throw. It's to the sideline so that they can stop the clock and at least get another shot downfield.
16-yard gain on the play.
Well, the pocket breaks down for Carey, so he's got to move around and find him a spot to step and throw. And see, that's why they say there's no hitch in this step. Anytime you can load and release that quickly, there's nothing wrong with your throwing motion.
But he can throw the ball hard. He was a good baseball pitcher. They talk about his pitcher's motion. Here is a long ball way downfield. And it comes down in the arms of a Raven, it appears. Looks like the half will end on a Baltimore interception. It does, as Antonio Langham got his second of the day. So the underdog Ravens have the lead at the half. Now let's go in Greg Gumbel for the Domino's Pizza NFL and NBC halftime report.
This is the Domino's Pizza NFL on NBC halftime report, brought to you by Domino's Pizza. For hot and wow, call Domino's. Now.
Welcome back to our studios, everyone. Along with Joe Gibbs, Mike Ditka, Chris Collinsworth, I'm Greg Gumbel. Here are the scores and highlights as we have them now. Big game in Big D this afternoon at halftime. The Cowboys and the Patriots tied at 6. One of these teams going to clinch a division title with a win today. First quarter, Drew Bledsoe, Curtis Martin, who cuts left, breaks a couple of tackles, but there's no running room, so he gets a little creative and turns this into a 21-yard gain. It led to an Adam Vinatieri field goal, which gives the Patriots a 3-0 lead. Troy Aikman's pass, intended for Michael Irvin. Ty Law steps in, picks it off to make the interception. That led to another field goal and a 6-0 New England advantage. But Herschel Walker, averaging 26 yards on kickoff returns this season, third in the NFL, ignites the Cowboys with this return, 70 yards to the 19-yard line, finally taken down by the kicker, Vinatieri, from behind. Cowboys settled for a field goal, and then driving Emmitt Smith up the middle for 8 yards, goes down hard after hitting safety Lawyer Malloy. He was forced out of the game with a shoulder stinger. He is expected back, but right now it's a 6-6 tie at halftime. Credit where credit is due. I asked you if this would be a shootout. You said no.
No, I really thought these two defenses were going to step up here today. But I do credit Ray Perkins for coming up with a good game plan. We talked about in the pregame show the fact that Sam Gash, New England's fullback, not in there, so they can't run their traditional isolation power football plays. But everything's been off the passing game today. They drop back, throw it, then hand it off on the draw, throw the screen pass. Very clever way of getting around a problem area on this football team.
This game surprise you, Mike?
It does. I think it surprises Bill Parcells, too. I don't think he expected his defense to step up and play the way it's playing. His running game is good. He's pretty solid in special teams. The guy who hasn't performed right now, and I think he's pushing himself a little bit, he's trying to do just a little bit too much, and that's Bledsoe. He just got to quiet down and take what the Cowboys give him.
And for a supposedly weak New England defense, I mean, you would have thought that if the Cowboy offense was going to awaken, Joe, it was going to be today.
Well, it surprises me. I thought the mismatch was going to be the pass defense. And I tell you what, they've held Aikman to 77 yards passing, and they got 2 sacks. They're putting pressure on him. I think that's where the surprise in the first half is.
All right, the Cowboys win. They win the NFC East. The Patriots win. They win the AFC East. In Pittsburgh, the Steelers, and you folks watching the game that you're watching between Baltimore and Carolina, interested in both these teams. 49ers are leading the Steelers by a score of 22-0, and Steve Young is having himself a pretty good afternoon, and Jerome Bettis just 5 carries, 8 yards early on. Do the Steelers miss him that much?
Well, I tell you what, we picture the Steelers as the defense. I tell you, the 49ers today, they're the ones with the defense. They've come out there and they're hammering them. Tom Zach right now has 51 yards. This is not the Steelers game. They are a play defense, run the football, not a come-from-behind team.
All right, in the game that you folks are watching, in Carolina, the Panthers are trailing Baltimore at halftime by a score of 13-10. After all the things, there's only one thing that Brian Kinchen said this week, but it was a big one. Does this surprise you?
No, it really doesn't, because the last time that Carolina beat San Francisco, they went down to Jacksonville and got beaten that football game. It almost has to be a little bit of a letdown, plus the fact that you're talking about the Baltimore Ravens and that big physical offensive line. They're doing a nice job against the pass rush.
Okay, we mentioned Brian Kinchen. He's got a couple of receptions today, but is not exactly doing, at least yet, what you call carrying the team. Mike?
Well, I don't think he's going to carry the team, but I tell you, he was carrying the team pretty well for Carolina. Anthony Johnson goes over 1,000 yards. And you got to think that's a pretty big deal, because here's a guy that wasn't good enough to make the New York Jets a year ago. You got to say a lot about whatever the system is or the coaching staff down in Carolina. They've done the right thing to get this guy on track.
All right, in the Silverdome in Pontiac, the Lions are trailing Green Bay 10-0. Desmond Howard, a 92-yard punt return in that game for the Packers. in Minnesota. The Vikings win this week, and next week they're in the postseason. It's a 7-7 tie at the Meadowlands. The New York Giants playing the 7-game losing streak New Orleans Saints and trailing the Saints 7-0. And in Atlanta, the St. Louis Rams with a 24-10 lead on the Falcons. When we come back, we will preview the second half of our doubleheader, Oakland at Denver. First, a word from the NFL, and these words from your local station.
NFL on NBC Halftime Report, brought to you by Domino's Pizza. For hot and wow, call Domino's. Now.
Welcome back, everyone. The game that most of you will see is the second half of our doubleheader today is Oakland at Denver. The Broncos have sewn up home field advantage throughout the AFC playoffs, but they come off a 41-6 loss at Green Bay, albeit without John Elway. The Raiders are 7-7. They still cling to playoff hopes. With a report, we go to Mile High Stadium. Dick Enberg, Paul McGuire, and Phil Simms.
And Greg, a chance today again to witness one of the greats in NFL history, John Elway. We saw without Elway what the Broncos were like at Green Bay a week ago. They have not won in the 90s without Elway, who in the first game at Oakland delivered this 49-yard touchdown pass to Rod Smith to seal a 22-21 win, and Elway rushed for 70 yards as well. In his 14th year, he moves up in the all-time rankings. Passing yards, attempts, completions, only 2 men in history have been better than Elway. And more importantly, Elway answers the call. He has missed only 10 games in his 14-year career. And furthermore, a statistic that will underline his greatness as an NFL quarterback. Today, a victory against Oakland, and no one in history has started at quarterback and won more games for his team. Those are pretty nice credentials.
No, those are great credentials, and John Elway, I think, is the greatest quarterback physically to ever play in the National Football League. The way he can move around and throw the football with power and accuracy. And a couple weeks ago, this play right here illustrates everything that he's been about his whole career, getting out of trouble and then throwing a rocket shot to the back of the end zone for a touchdown. And when you watch him in person, being an ex-quarterback, you watch him and you just say, wow, this guy is really something.
Yeah, whether you're a broadcaster or a fan or a fellow player, you like to watch number 7. But there's a youngster on the other side of the line of scrimmage that's drawn some attention as well.
Yeah, it's a really amazing 5'9" Napoleon Kaufman. You talk to the Denver Broncos defense about this team, and you would think, well, hey, they got all these guys on the outside. They've got a track team catching the ball. But the one guy that they're worried about is this guy, number 26, Napoleon Kaufman. Leads the National Football League with over 6 yards a carry. Only carries the ball like 15 times a game. But with that 15 times a game, he is murder.
Well, Elway aside, these are the 2 top rushing teams in the entire National Football League. The Broncos trying to get back on that winning path. The Raiders looking for a playoff spot. Greg?
All right, Dick, guys, thanks very much. Now, it seems we spend a good portion of every season saying, what's wrong with the Oakland Raiders? So what's wrong with the Oakland Raiders?
I think that Mike White's trying to keep too many people happy, and these guys know more about this than I do, but he's trying to keep Jeff Hostetler and Tim Brown with the passing game. He started Harvey Williams at the running back position last week, keeps playing Ricky Dudley despite the fact that he can't catch a ball at the tight end position. And, Mike, I think there comes a point in time where you have to say, will you run the football with Napoleon Kaufman? That's the best thing that we do, and you got to stay with it.
Chris, I agree with you wholeheartedly. I think the worst thing a coach can do is start trying to please the players too much. I mean, you've got to set down a philosophy of what your philosophy is as an organization, as a team. Are you going to run the ball? Are you going to pass the ball? Are you a defensive team? You must get that down, and then you must adhere to it. You can't bounce around because things don't go exactly the way you want them to run. Run the ball, be consistent running the ball, and everything else will work out.
And, Joe, you add to the whole mix the fact that these teams just don't like each other very much.
Well, what happens in these divisional rivalries when you're playing somebody twice a year? Things start to add up. We know that Oakland in the past has said about Denver, we think we got their number. Last year, Denver jumps back in their face, knocks them out of the playoffs at the end of the year, and then throw into that mix their coach, Shanahan, was at Oakland. He comes back. You can tell why these coaches, they say they're uptight. Hey, this would help ruin his season, getting beat at home by the Oakland Raiders. He doesn't like them.
All right, Joe, most of you will see Oakland at Denver. Some will get Indianapolis at Kansas City. Others will see Cincinnati at Houston. And our NFL and NBC halftime activities continue.
And welcome back to Charlotte. We're at the half. The underdog Ravens from Baltimore up on the Panthers 13-10. Don Criqui with Beasley, Reese. Bam Morris has been a big factor for the Ravens in the first half. 44 yards rushing, 44 yards receiving, And now we'll see Beasley if they can hold up all the good fortune of a halftime lead again.
Well, that has been the problem for Baltimore, how they play in the second half. As we take a look at the first half stats, it's basically even across the board. I mean, there's really no difference other than the 1 turnovers at this other side. So the Coors Light halftime stats really don't give us any indication. Just shows us we've got a heck of a football game going on.
You see the turnovers, 2 for Carolina, but the last one was really insignificant. It was a desperation pass on the final play of the second quarter. And now we kick it off and we're underway as Carolina has the ball to start the third quarter of play. And a good special teams hit at the 22-yard line, as Michael Gates has not been able to break the big kickoff return today, coming in with a 32-yard per kickoff return average. That's been the best in the NFL in 20 years.
Here's what the Ravens are worried about. They have self-destructed in the second half of play. You see that they were leading by 1 in Indianapolis, but the big one, Cincinnati, Jacksonville, 18 and 15-point leads, and just let it slip away. Able to win 2 out of the last 9 that they were leading in the second half of play.
Gary Collins is going to throw on first down, triggers it to the far sideline, and Willie Green comes down with the ball, and they're going to rule it a catch, to the protests of the Ravens. Teddy Marchapilla right there. He thought he had a better view of the feet.
Boy, that's hard to believe. This will be a very interesting ISO here, because it looked like that ball pulled Willie Green way out of bounds. He got them both in. Great call by the officials.
I tell you, these NFL officials,
if they're all over.
There's one thing that is really remarkable. It is the field position they have to look at a play like that and be correct. And their correctness is almost 100% of the time. It's very few people do their job as well as NFL officials in any line of work. Here is a throw downfield and a catch out to the 49-yard line. Wesley Walls fielding the ball just off the turf. He is a sure-handed guy. What a good player.
Well, he's made some big plays. Every play he's made, in fact, today has been for considerable gain. See, this ball is behind the guy and low. He's got real good hands.
Carolina coming down nicely on this opening drive to start the third quarter of play, trailing the Baltimore Ravens 13-10. Another handoff this time, and look at Anthony Johnson. Beautiful play faking by Kerry Collins. That time he gave the ball off and carried it out like he was going to throw the ball and throw some of the defense.
Tell you what I like about that play is right at the end of it, there's a 2 or 3 yard extra gain where he's carrying people on his back.
Ball positioned at the 40-yard line. And the chain markers come out as we have the third quarter just underway, less than a minute and a half gone by. Carolina looking to play for a home field spot in the first round of the playoffs with a win today. They're already in the playoffs as this second-year team.
Take a look at the end of this play, Don. You'll see the individual effort that I'm talking about of Johnson. Now, see, he's hit now. Now, look, he's carrying guys for another 3 or 4 yards. That's big time.
Anthony Johnson at 6 feet, 220 pounds. He is right from South Bend, Indiana. Just went down the street from John Adams High School to Notre Dame. And as you see, he becomes a 1,000-yard rusher for the first time in his career with his carries today. There'll be a delay of game. And there was some motion on the right side of the Panthers line, Alberto Garrido. And that is the signal. Ball spotted back at the 45-yard line now of the Baltimore Ravens. Garrido, a huge offensive tackle and a good one for a rookie, starting as a first-year player.
See number 76 there, just a little bit of a lurch, but the defensive guys know what to do when they catch you in that position.
They've been doing that a lot. The Ravens starting their rush a bit early, trying to get these guys moving. It's worked a couple of times. Hand up, Johnson straight ahead, and he's close to the 41-yard line. That will bring up a third down and less than 2 for Carolina. Mike Frederick and James Jones were on the stop for the Ravens. Ted Marchibroda, who coached the Baltimore Colts to 3 consecutive AFC Eastern championships in the mid-70s when he had Burt Jones at quarterback at Baltimore. And it's interesting, the main principal owner of the Carolina Panthers, he caught a touchdown pass. Jerry Richardson, the receiver for the Colts, caught a touchdown pass from Unitas in that 59 championship game win over the Giants. And that's really just the beginning of the Jerry Richardson success story as the run has stopped. Richardson then turned his $4,800 playoff check into ownership in a fast food franchise and built his empire. Now he owns a football team. There's Jerry Richardson, and he has put together a tremendous organization here in Carolina. A wide receiver made good.
Yes, he did. And, you know, the guys that work around him, they say that whatever it is, all he asks is that you go buy the very best that there is and make it work. That's the kind of guy you want to work for. Give you the best equipment, everything you need. Now go do it.
4th down coming up. The spot shows that the Panthers were just short of the first down, trailing by 3 early in the 3rd quarter. Anthony Johnson, but he doesn't get the ball. Gary Collins, at 6'5", almost 250 pounds of quarterback, puts his head down, and it's a first down for the Panthers.
I tell you, it's hard to tell people how big Gary Collins is. He comes in the meeting, he's in black sweats, and you know, which makes you even look more intimidating. And you get the sense that you're talking to a young man who's having the most fun of his life. In fact, he said the last game against San Francisco when he played so well was the most fun he ever had in sports.
That was a lot of fun for everybody in this organization that follows this team. A huge win. To give you an idea how good, if you want a barometer how good Carolina really is, the 49ers have won the NFC West 9 times in the last 10 years. They've played Carolina 4 times since this team came into the league, and Carolina's beaten them 3 of 4, including 2-0 this year. So they've beaten the best in their division.
And beat them twice at their place.
But now the offense misfiring with a series of penalties in this opening drive. Ball spotted at the 44-yard line of Baltimore. First down and 15. Collins guns it over the middle, and the sure-handed Wesley Walls takes it in again. Danny Thompson brings him down, but there's a gain on the play of about 12 yards, about 11 yards where they'll spot it down at the 33.
Now the effect of Kerry Collins working the inside with Walls is that at some point they're going to have to put somebody on him man for man or double him, which will leave single coverage outside. So then you look for your speed guys like Rocket Ishmael or Green or Courier to start to make a big play.
The Ravens cornerbacks playing way off. They have not given up the deep throw today. Anthony Johnson, nothing happening on 2nd down and 4. He's taken down by Anthony Pleasant. And linebacker Ed Sutter, 54. Former Northwestern Wildcat. When Art Modell saw his team's new uniforms, he said of his Ravens, "We look like Northwestern." The purple and black. Collins, believe it or not, Penn State has turned out probably more good pro linebackers than any school, but very few quarterbacks in Penn State have made it in the NFL. In fact, Collins could be the first one to make it big time. There's a throw over the middle. What a beautiful play as the ball is taken inside the 15-yard line. And coming down to the 8 is Mark Carrier on a gain of 26 yards. A beautifully timed slant throw by Collins to the streaking Carrier.
Carrier is simply put a pro. I mean, this guy catches this ball, and the beauty of it, see how the ball is out in front where he doesn't have to slow down? That's how you make yards after the catch. People talk about the great receivers like the Jerry Rices of the world who turn regular plays into big plays. Well, that's because the quarterback also puts the ball in the right position.
Kerry Collins now 17 of 25 for 195 yards. Handoff goes, and working hard to get to the 5-yard line is fullback Anthony Johnson, the I-back. Jones and Footman on the stop for the Ravens as, again, the Panthers are challenging to take the lead. They led early 3-0, then they led 10-7. At the moment, they're trailing 13-10.
Big series coming up right now for Baltimore. This series, if they could hold him out of the end zone, would be absolutely huge.
Anthony Johnson, Beasley, now with 14 carries for 44 yards. Johnson. Good line play. Outside linebacker Mike Kroll moves off the tackle and makes the stop. And that brings up 3rd down. So it's 3rd down and goal for the Carolina Panthers just outside Baltimore's 5-yard line. Do they throw to Wesley Walls?
If I was on defense, I guarantee you I would be watching Wesley Walls.
Walls is aligned to the right.
Got a touchdown against San Francisco in the end zone in a situation like this.
Collins takes a look, rolling out, throws to the end zone. It's caught for a touchdown. Mark Carrier, and the Panthers come back and take the lead again.
This is a real good throw. It shows a lot of patience from Carey. Throws back over behind him. And you see Benny Thompson with the body slam on Carey after the touchdown. And number 75, Greg Strepanek, went in there and mixed it up a little bit because he didn't like the way his teammate was body handled in the end zone.
Now Casey with a point after drives it up and through. And the Carolina Panthers are in the lead, 17-13. They'll kick it off as the NFL on NBC continues.
The NFL on NBC is brought to you by Genuine Chevrolet, the cars more Americans trust. By Radio Shack, you've got questions, we've got answers. By Priority Mail from the U.S. Postal Service. And by American Express. Help support the American Express Charge Against Hunger program.
And back to Charlotte, where the Panthers have just regained the lead, 17-13 on a touchdown pass. Gary Collins to Mark Carrier. Now Jermaine Lewis and Randy Baldwin are back deep for the Ravens. A high spinning kick carries down to Baldwin at the 2. He loses the ball. Picks it up. And finally is taken down at the 11-yard line. So that gives the Carolina defense something to feed on as Vinny Testaverde comes out with the long field to go for his Ravens. Ed Marchibroda and his Baltimore Ravens now positioned at their 11-yard line, trailing by 4 after leading twice in the game. Vinny Testaverde up against it. You see if they've blown leads in 7 of their last 9 games. Second half has been a nemesis. And this crowd's not helping. It's helping Carolina a lot. Dan Morris continues his workmanlike day, running the ball and receiving it. He's up to 50 yards rushing. And he is also 44 yards receiving. Dallas now with a Bonio field goal, his 4th of the day. He might break the record he tied not long ago. San Francisco laying waste to the Steelers. Green Bay as the time clock ticks out on Wayne Fonts, the Detroit coach. Here's Testaverde. Does the right thing and eats the ball. As coming in to get him was Carlton Bailey, number 54, the only starting linebacker who's not going to the Pro Bowl.
You know, this team, this Baltimore Ravens team, when they went in for the half, they had to be talking about the blown leads. You know, let's come out and play it like it's a first half game, or let's really take care of business here. And then to come out, you know, psychologically, you start to wonder when it's going to happen again because it's happened so many times.
Home field is really huge here in Carolina. Panthers unbeaten here. This crowd is tremendous in its support. Testaverde looking now. He heads for the yard marker and is knocked out of bounds at about the 19-yard line on 3rd and 11. He almost got there, but got out of bounds too short.
Yeah, he was trying to signal Michael Jackson to turn up field, but the defender was in perfect position where Michael couldn't turn up. So Vinny was forced to run. But Vinny has been under tremendous pressure, especially in this second half, from this Panther defense.
Yes, he has. They've sacked him 4 times. They've hurried him 9 times. The fierce pass rush of Carolina forces another punt. The line drive hit downfield. And here comes the rookie Winslow Oliver across midfield and down to the 47-yard line. So momentum has turned markedly, and it favors Carolina. As with 5:44 to play, Carolina has the ball in a 4-point lead. Ted Marchibroda sees his defense go out again as Carolina has started to move here in the 3rd quarter. Rallying for a touchdown has brought the Panthers from behind. Now they start with good field position again on the Baltimore side. Collins wants to add to it, swings it out. Running with the ball is the elusive little Winslow. Winslow Oliver. And he's ahead down to the 35-yard line for a first down. Howard Griffith is the man who makes that catch down to the 35, and it's a first down.
Nice 360 move at the very end of this play. And some of the old crusty veterans will call this a rookie move, because in the National Football League, at some point, you do this 360 and spin into a knockout.
That's right.
Spin right up into a knockout, but great move.
And a first down. Walls goes in motion. Collins goes back to the run, and again a good defensive stick by Keith Golganius. Head on to Anthony Johnson. No gain. 2nd down and 10 as the clock is down to 4:40 to play in the 3rd quarter.
Golganius has been very active today. Didn't know he would be playing in the middle until Ray Lewis's hip corner bothered him to the point that Baltimore was forced to go to the 4-3, and Golganius has played a big role.
And Collins throwing well now, Beasley. 6 straight completions, including his last one, which was a touchdown throw to Carrier. Fires again, on the pocket again. That's the Rocket. Ismail down to the 25-yard line. Very close to a first down. Looks like it'll be about a foot short of it where they stop the ball.
Dangerous players on this football team in Carolina. A lot of veterans. Here's a look at the throw. Rocket running a stop pattern, loses his footing just a little bit. The field is a little torn up. They had the state rivals, college state rivals playing on this field the other day in the rain, and it tore it up a little bit.
3rd and short. High set in the backfield. Anthony Johnson is the I-back, and Gary Collins not wanting to bungle this important play. 3rd and 1. Signals for and is allotted a timeout. So he comes over to talk it over. There's a break in the action as the NFL on NBC continues. Gary Collins laser sharp here in the 3rd quarter. He's hit 7 of 7 passes for 91 yards and a touchdown. You see the quarterback comparison. Really Collins' 2nd interception was insignificant. It's just a desperation throw at the close of the half. The first half. And now the Ravens want a timeout here, Beasley.
Well, they didn't like something. And such a critical area on the football field and critical point in this football game that's a smart timeout.
And we have a moment here. That gives us a chance to tell you that on Christmas Day, join NBC Sports for an exciting NBA doubleheader starting with NBA Showtime in prime time at 5:30 Eastern Time. Then, Shaquille O'Neal and the Lakers travel to Phoenix to take on Kevin Johnson and the Suns. In Game 2, Grant Hill and the Detroit Pistons make a Christmas visit to the Windy City to go against Michael Jordan and the defending world champion Chicago Bulls. It is a holiday NBA doubleheader Christmas Day here on NBC. Now we're ready to play football again. And after consecutive timeouts, excuse me, Beasley, Gary Collins is ready to work.
Yeah, take a look at the difference between his first and second halves. 7 of 7 in the second half, really sharp, a touchdown. He's turned it on.
Here's a blitz. They go to the run, and they take the head for what looks to be a first down. It's a power dive. Third and less than a yard, and they got the ball inside the 25-yard line where they had to go. Now the spot is everything. Looks like they might spot it outside the 25. They didn't get the first down. And they're going to send out John Casey, the place kicker. The hold will be at the 34-yard line. This will be a 44-yard attempt. Casey's, you see, 1 for 1 for the day. And for the season, he is the NFL's leading scorer. He has hit for the season 34 of 42. A left-footed place kicker with a lot of power. Snap and set down are good. The ball is spun up high. And he delivers it up and through. So the Panthers come away with more points and extend their lead to 7. It's 20-13 Carolina. Tom Capers' team kicks off as the NFL on NBC continues.
And we're back at Carolina, and what a wonderful season this has been despite the losing for Vinny Testaverde. This guy went from, you know, billboards in Tampa saying, Vinny, can you read this, to making the Pro Bowl this year.
Well, he had some interesting things to say, Beasley, when he made the Pro Bowl. He said, first of all, I'd like to thank Ted Marchibroda for having the confidence in him and letting him know that the past does not equal the future. And he thanked his wife, Mitzi, for standing by him. They said the ovation he got at a team meeting on the field when they announced that he was going to the Pro Bowl was really very moving. The team was really excited for Vinny Testaverde getting that high accolade. Now the kickoff goes out of bounds inside the 10-yard line.
You know, one other thing about the Vinny story, Don, is that, you know, he'll play in
bounds by the kicker. The ball will be spotted 30 yards from the spot of the kick. First down.
He'll play in the Pro Bowl this year for the first time in a 10-year career. And Don, as you know, his father has serious heart problems and really got too excited watching him play and hasn't seen him play in person since 1987. So his father will be in Hawaii to see his son play for the first time live at the Pro Bowl. And that is just an amazing day that's going to be for the Testaverde family.
Sure will. Vinny used to work with his father, who was a stonemason on Long Island. He put in 14 hours a day as a kid helping his dad. His father said, you knew then he was a guy that was going to work hard to get where he had to go. And as we mentioned earlier, Ted Marchibroda said he's never seen a harder working quarterback, and he's worked with some of the great ones in this league.
You know, Don, you take a look at what he's been through. 5 head coaches. Unbelievable. And that was Kitchen with the reception. Another nice throw by Vinny Testaverde. I've watched his whole career. I was a sportscaster in Tampa when he was a Heisman Trophy winner and a first-round draft choice to that team. Man's been through a lot. Glad to see him succeed.
But right now he needs some success as his team falling behind 17-10 after leading at the half. Or falling behind 20-13 after leading at the half. Late has gone back and forth in this game. As you see the spot, it's going to be just short of the first down at the 40-yard line. Ed Marchibroda lamenting 2 things: the number of injuries he's had on defense and the fact that the Ravens have just been unable to generate a pass rusher. They've lost some very good pass rushers like Rob Burnett, who's one of the best in the American Conference. Rob with a continuing series of injuries. He's out today.
The Ravens had a lot to play for today. They're 0-7 on the road this season, 0-11 dating back to last year, and they're running out of time to get a road win.
But they're only down by 7 with 2:15 to play in the third quarter. Testaverde to Bam Morris. He breaks it for a first down and a lot more as he takes it inside the 30-yard line. Bam Morris down to the 28-yard line as we check the 10-minute ticker. Monial with all the Dallas points on field goals. Pittsburgh finally gets on the board, but late in the third quarter, in deep trouble against the 49ers.
There's something about that Patriots defense. They're rated very low in pass defense, and it says something about Dallas. They're not able to score a lot.
Testaverde going long. The coverage is excellent by Eric Davis, the Pro Bowl cornerback on the left side. And that will bring up second down and 10 for the Baltimore Ravens at the 29-yard line of Carolina. Marchibroda has Testaverde aligning without a huddle. The Buffalo offense that he installed for Jim Kelly. Ball on the field, and the Carolina Panthers might have it. They do. Testaverde misses the snap from center. Testaverde and Wally Williams misconnecting, and on the ball to recover the fumble was who else? Sam Mills, the 37-year-old Pro Bowl linebacker.
Boy, Vinny never had that coming out. So Sam Mills all over the play again. There's Vinny and Wally Williams talking about the snap there. Vinny taps him on the head. You will remember that Steve Everett is their normal starting center. So Wally doing a yeoman's job, just switching and doing the best he can.
Moving from right guard to center. Timing throw comes in high. The catch is made by tall Willie Green at 6'4". Comes down with the ball. Willie starting to put up the numbers. He told us yesterday he visualizes everything he's going to do in a game before he plays it.
See, I love that.
Said he sits in front of his locker and writes down what he's going to do. Doesn't tell anybody.
No. But predicts the number of catches that he'll make. He said last week he visualized catching a touchdown against San Francisco and did that.
It's interesting that his numbers are always exactly what he visualized, because he's the only one that knows it. Here is Collins throwing, and it comes in, tipped ball, as Stevan Moore, one of the safeties, appeared to get a hand on it. Coming on a second down and long 4 play. That brings up third down and 4. We have just 46 seconds to play in the third quarter here at Carolina. Gary Collins, the second-year quarterback from Penn State, with impressive passing numbers, particularly here in the second half, has brought his team from behind to a 20-13 lead. Another timing throw, drilled in and almost picked off as Eric Turner had his hands on the ball but couldn't hold on to it.
You look at Gary Collins there. Well, Anthony Pleasant, I believe, is down again.
So another of the embattled defensive front of the Baltimore Ravens injured again. Anthony Pleasant. Unbelievable the way they've been hit with injuries in their defense. Just before the start of this game today, their excellent rookie linebacker Ray Lewis was determined unable to play because of an ailing hip. It acted up in the pregame warm-ups. Other linebackers, Craig Powell is out. Mike Caldwell, one of their best linebackers, is out again today. As we mentioned, Rob Burnett, the pass rusher's out. But the Baltimore defense does stop Carolina in this series and now gets ready to receive a punt. Ron Stark in the game to punt the ball for the Panthers. There's Jermaine Lewis. He's back for the Ravens. Big rush. Ball hit downfield. And it'll skip out of bounds at about the 31-yard line. So Vinny Testaverde and the Baltimore Raven offense comes back out on the field. Next Saturday, NBC Sports presents more exciting NFL action at the special time of 12 noon Eastern Time with the NFL on NBC. Then watch Drew Bledsoe and the New England Patriots go into the Meadowlands to meet the New York Giants, Bill Parcells' old team that he led to 2 Super Bowl triumphs. It's a special Saturday edition of the NFL on NBC. Next Saturday starting at 12 noon Eastern Time. Turnover count is even. Each team turning it over twice in the game. Here's Bam Morris. Not a lot happening there for Bam as he tries the middle of the Carolina defense.
Bam has had a good game here today. And remember, when you look at this Ravens offense, this offense came into this game 3rd in the NFL in total offensive yards. The receivers, Jackson and Alexander, over 1,000 yards each, so they can move it.
Here's Vinny. He goes to the run again, and Bam Morris works his way on 2nd and long and gets it to the 37-yard line. Trying to catch this defense in an all-out pass rush. And that'll do it for the 3rd quarter of play. We'll be back after these messages from your local stations. This is the NFL on NBC. A big 3rd quarter for the Carolina Panthers as they come from behind with 10 unanswered points, and a continuing second half dilemma for Vinny Testaverde and the Ravens, who week after week after week after week lead in the second half and then lose the lead. 9 straight games they've had second half leads. This is the 10th straight week they've had a second half lead and lost it. A throw downfield, and Eric Turner comes up. Floyd Turner making the reception as Tyrone Poole was defending on the play for the Carolina Panthers. And the ball is advanced out to the 48-yard line.
Well, Vinny's got to get that big play offense going now. He's got to move it downfield. The second Floyd caught that ball, the loud crowd here hushed.
Woo. Through 15 games this season, the Carolina Panthers have allowed a total of 53 second half points. It's way under 4 points a game in the second half, and at home they're averaging about a little over a point a game allowed in the second half. None today.
Look at the hit Marl Latham puts on Vinny. And at the other side, Kevin Green almost intercepted that pass.
Vinny Testaverde throws, and Kinchin makes the reception, and he's inside the 45-yard line and powers his way close to a Baltimore first down. We're just told that Derek Alexander, a standout wide receiver for Baltimore, is out for the rest of the game with a shoulder injury.
Alexander had over 1,000 yards
coming into
the game today.
It is only a 7-point lead for Carolina, the team that leads the NFL in scoring defense. Also a team that leads the league in sacks, and they have 4 today of Vinny Testaverde and numerous more hard hits on him. Dom Capers bringing the Blitzburg defense, as they called it in Pittsburgh, to Carolina.
This is a dangerous down and distance. Second and very short. Nope. Is it second or third now?
It'll be third and short.
Third and very short. Okay. One of the chain markers had 2. The other one had 3.
Yeah, they just changed it. It is third and short. Testaverde's big enough to power himself behind his center, Wally Williams. And Vinny does just that as Testaverde takes it to the 41-yard line. It's a first down for Baltimore, and it quiets the crowd for the moment.
I tell you, I am so impressed with the fans here in Charlotte.
They're into it.
Oh, man, are they into it. And they've got the most beautiful building. This new stadium is unbelievable. It has got to be the standard in the league. It's got to be what everybody wants.
And the new ones the Ravens will play in is a beauty. Here is Kinchin. Look at that reception by Kinchin again in that open over the middle area. As tight end Brian Kinchin, one of the very best receiving tight ends in the NFL, makes a big play down to the 12-yard line. A gain on the play of 29 yards.
And that was about as good a throw as you can see.
That's perfect.
That's straight up the seam in between the free safety and the cornerback. Super throw.
Van Morris turns it up and turns it in. Gets down inside the 10-yard line, where the strong safety Brett Maxey, an 12-year veteran, makes the stop.
Brett Maxey took about a 3-yard ride on that play. It's very hard for a guy to match up with that type of size with Van Morris with a running start.
Major challenge being mounted now to tie the game. A timing throw to the end zone, but there's too much on it for wide receiver Michael Jackson, who has a touchdown reception today. Almost had 2, but one was called back because he pushed off, it was ruled.
You know, look at the ISO here. Michael Jackson leaves himself a lot of room to the outside. Both players know exactly what the pass is going to be. Cornerback and wide receiver, they both knew what was coming, and defensive man played it well. Poole.
Yeah, that was a 6'4" to 5'8" advantage. Tyrone Poole only 5'8". Now Jackson comes to the near side. Here's Testaverde looking at him. Now he throws over the middle, and it comes in high, incomplete. And 4th down comes up. And with a lot of time left in the game, the Baltimore Ravens send out their kicking team. They'll try a field goal. They went to work on Tyrone Poole again, Beasley, on that slant play. He was covering. Matt Stover now comes in. A very accurate field goal kicker. Stover with 2 field goals today. He is 18 for 24 on field goals for the season.
Well, Baltimore needs 2 scores to get back in the lead. Doesn't matter what order they come in. They need a touchdown and a field goal. So they'll take the first down to the field goal here. Doesn't matter.
Twelve minutes and 31 seconds left to play. The punter, Greg Montgomery, is the holder for Baltimore. Snap, set down are good, and the kick is on the way, and 3 points more go on the board now for the Baltimore Ravens, as the Panthers lead is 20-16. The NFL continues after this.
The NFL on NBC is brought to you by Honda, proud winner of the 1996 IndyCar Manufacturers Championship. By Black & Decker. Black & Decker is how things get done. And by Snickers. Not going anywhere for a while? Grab a Snickers. Hungry? Why wait?
A bright, sunshiny December day in North Carolina, where the Carolina Panthers, holding to a 4-point lead, about to get the ball back after the field goal by Matt Stover, who kicks off. A high spinning kick that'll carry short. Michael Bates comes up on the ball for the Panthers and takes it out to the 28-yard line. Dom Capers talking yesterday about the importance of starting position. His offense has averaged starting position at their 32-yard line during this season, and the opposition's been somewhere around the 21, so that's been a huge advantage.
The defense for Baltimore has a big challenge right now. They need to neutralize this so that their offense can get back on the field, down by 7. Kerry Collins has been hot in the second half.
Now he stands in, fires hard up the middle, tip ball, and very nearly intercepted as Eric Turner, the free safety, was coming up on the ball. Looked like linebacker Ed Sutter, 54, got a hand on the ball.
That was the play they needed.
Dallas continues to lead New England in the 4th quarter. San Francisco, no problems. That was over at the outset, really, a 16-0 first quarter lead. The Packers laying waste to Detroit as Green Bay continues with the advantage for home field in the National Conference. Handoff, not a whole lot going on, but Anthony Johnson somehow on 2nd and 10 weaves his way ahead, gets about 4 yards out to the 31-yard line where Dan Footman brings him down. As the Ravens defense grading out low, statistically making a lot of big plays today.
They really have. And for the season, they have been just awful. And we know why. It's been injuries. They lost almost everybody, especially on the defensive line.
Now it's on Kerry Collins' shoulders on 3rd down, and they need 6. Collins looks, fires, got an open man. It's incomplete, though. Receiver signaling that he was interfered with. It was Walls, the tight end, who was diving at the ball. Rookie Donnie Brady was defending him, but the Ravens defense holds, and Carolina has to punt the ball back to Baltimore.
3 and out is what they needed.
Ron Stark, the punter, a longtime Indianapolis Colt, and there's the rookie from Maryland. Dropping back, ready to return the ball. Jermaine Lewis. Lewis comes up on it. There's a penalty marker down, and Jermaine Lewis living dangerously into the teeth of the rush coverage. He catches the ball and heads out to the 38-yard line. But there was a penalty marker back way upfield around where Lewis caught the ball. 34-yard punt. Interested players checking into this conversation. He used to clear them out, never let them around it. They're doing that now. Clock shows 11 minutes and 21 seconds left to play in the game. Here's Mike Carey, the referee.
During the kick, there's personal foul, unnecessary roughness on the receiving team, number 36. Receiving team will kick the ball after assessment of their 15-yard foul. First down.
Wow. That hurt.
Corey Dowden, he's made a lot of plays on special teams today. He just made another, but it was a bad one.
The NFL on NBC is brought to you by Domino's Pizza. Call now to enjoy a hot and delicious Domino's Pizza during the game. Or hot and wild. Call Domino's now.
With Beasley, Reese, this is Don Criqui back at Charlotte. Here's an unhappy coach talking to his rookie, Corey Dowden.
And Scott O'Brien, the special teams coach, and that big 15-yard penalty cost him a lot and might get him in trouble.
He's made about 4 special teams tackles earlier, his Dowden. Now the Panthers are pointing that they were drawn offside, and people start up. No snap of the ball, but we've got action.
Well, the defense is saying that they were set and then raised up to see what Benny was saying. The offensive linemen are probably saying that they didn't have their fingers down. Once they put the hand down in that 3-point stance, they can't be raising up, looking over at Benny.
Ball start on the offense, number 66. 5-yard. First down.
Tony Jones, big tackle. So that's 5 yards to start the sequence. Makes it very tough to get a first down. The odds are enormous against a team converting.
Well, Don, that makes it 20. That's 20 yards they've lost in penalties.
Exactly.
From the special team play to the illegal motion, and that's devastating.
Ball's now back to the Ravens' 14-yard line. And the crowd kicks in. And Morris cutting back. And Bam working hard, and he's ahead for a gain out to the 27-yard line. He got 11 yards on the carry.
See, that's what happens when you tackle Bam Morris high. Now, he told me that Dom Capers would tell these guys to tackle him low. Watch him hit him around the shoulders. That guy tried to hit him low, but look at these two. Look at these guys, all grabbing around those shoulders. Can't do it.
On 2nd and 2, not much going on again as the knockdown is made. So far in the game, Bam Morris has run 18 times for 60 yards.
Boy, it seems like a lot more than that. It does.
Got to keep the defense honest by trying to run. Last week, Carolina ran 33 times at San Francisco, but gained only 58 yards. Testaverde, tip ball, it's incomplete. And with 10:21 to play in the game, a lot of time left, the Baltimore Ravens have to punt the ball back to Carolina. And there is Montgomery, the long-range punter. Well, they got two of them in this game. Ron Stark and got Montgomery.
I know I keep talking about these fans, but they are just awesome. I've seen more standing ovations today.
Exciting place to see a football
Absolutely.
game.
I mean, they are into it. Every good thing, they stand up and cheer.
Carolina sets up the return. Here comes Winslow Oliver, the rookie, fair catching the ball wisely at the 37-yard line. There's been good coverage by the Ravens on the kicks. And Harry Collins and the Carolina Panthers go to work when the NFL and NBC continues. Kevin Green looks on as the Carolina offense is on the field. Here's a blitz, and they give it off to Anthony Johnson, and he fights ahead to the 45-yard line. Gain on the play of 8 yards for Anthony Johnson. The stop by Benny Thompson and Keith Gilganius. Now the Carolina Panthers with a 4-point lead, running some clock. 9:55 to play in the game.
Johnson's got 17 carries for 47 yards in the game.
Over 1,000 for the season today did Anthony Johnson, and he builds on that as he dives ahead for what looks to be first down yardage close to the 48-yard line. Linebacker Ed Sutter stops him. Dallas late in the game continues to lead the Patriots in a major matchup that has seen no touchdowns. It's all field goals in that game. Pittsburgh inches closer, but it may be too late after Carolina, or after San Francisco took that early 16-0 lead in the first quarter. First down and 10. Gary Collins. Timing throw, nicely done to Willie Green as he spins off and gets to the Ravens 45. He got 7. He's a real good-looking quarterback, isn't he?
He really is. Stands in the pocket nicely. I don't know if that was the luck of the call or if Kerry Collins made an adjustment there, but Baltimore moves into an 8-man front expecting the run to run down the clock, and Kerry gets the pass called in time. There's a reception to Willie Green. You know, I've been talking about the fans. Willie Green's mother has the real good tickets, but she prefers to set up high where the fans get a little crazier. All of these fans have been crazy today.
Well, listen, they're all good seats. The owner sits in the end zone, in the upper end zone in his own box. As the stop of Anthony Johnson is made at the 40-yard line, but he gets enough for another first down. So in a methodical, workmanlike way, the Carolina Panthers move on, looking for their 6th consecutive win, looking to go 11-4 on the season in just their 2nd year in the NFL.
This Baltimore defense has gone, the last 2 series, they got Carolina off the field, and the offense didn't do anything with it. After a while, you get a little discouraged, and you let down just a little bit subconsciously.
Gary Collins takes a drop, throws downfield. Walls is open, makes the play inside the 25-yard line. He's ahead for a gain of 16 yards and a first down. Interesting play call. The offensive coordinator of the Panthers is Joe Pendry, and everyone in the organization applauds him for the way he's handled Collins. They put him in. Tom Capers made the decision last year. He's going to be our starter, but we're not going to make it too complicated at the outset.
No, they just lived with his growing pains last year, the 19 interceptions, and now this year they are getting the fruit of the struggles that they had with his decisions last season, because he's really efficient with the football.
That was the theme. Be efficient. Here's another efficient throw. Getting it out on the flank. And Mark Carrier, who is really a hands catcher. So many players catch it with their body. He's got the sure hands.
See, these body catchers miss this ball right here. That's a great point, Don. This ball is out away from his body, but because he catches 90% of the balls with his hands, look how easy and comfortable. When you look at a guy, when you're scouting a player, and you look at the ease with which he makes the catches, that's when you know he has the true hand and eye coordination.
It was just short of a first down, the reception. Anthony Johnson bangs up in there again and takes it down to the 13-yard line. First down, Carolina.
Carolina, as the young guys say, they've got it going on right now. Just about everything they call works. They've got the Ravens off balance defensively. When they blitz, they're passing, and when they back up for a pass, they're running.
Yeah, they've been mixing their offense. Don Capers said the good news about his team, number one, the reason they've been successful is they play well as a team. They contribute as a unit. And he said the better news is we're getting better week by week. They're improving. Here is Collins looking, swings it out, got his man. And the ball is taken down close to the 7-yard line as Scott Green, a little used backup fullback, makes the play. And now Carolina's challenging for what very well could be the knockout punch as we're down to 5:42 to play in the game.
He keeps making catches like this, and he'll be often used. That's a nice stop and go. And then look at the effort at the end of it. He's not done.
Scott Green, a rookie fullback from Michigan State, number 43. Second down and 4 for the first down. Second down and 8 for the touchdown. Anthony Johnson takes it down close. And he's down to the 2-yard line. Lost it, but it was knocked free by the turf. It's a first down for Carolina, it appears, where the ball is spotted.
This is a big opportunity. Watch Anthony Johnson coming right at you. Sees the hole, explodes immediately. And as you can see, the knee was definitely down before that ball came out. So Kerry Collins just has to feed his runners, and if he decides to throw it for some reason, just make sure he hits a cheerleader. Throw it out of bounds. Throw it away. No mistakes.
Extra tight ends and the power set on 1st and goal. Anthony Johnson's been in the end zone once, but nothing happening there as the Ravens submarine the offensive blocking and send the linebackers over the top. Oganius makes the hit. And the game clock continues to tick down. 4:15 left to play. Carolina 20, Baltimore 16. Carolina outscoring the Ravens 10-3 here in the second half. 10-0 in the third quarter when they rallied back to take the lead.
Second and goal, there's a lot of plays you can call in football.
Like throwing to the tight end.
Yeah, defense has no clue.
Play fake. There's a throw. Open man. Touchdown. No sooner said. They go to the tight end for the touchdown. Now they're waving it off. They are.
He dropped it down. He was wide open. You made the call. And he drops it between his legs as he's coming down. This is the same play that he scored on against San Francisco.
Yep.
At the top of your screen, I don't believe that they allowed him off the line of scrimmage with such ease. That's ridiculous. I mean, you got to know they're going to try to hit this guy. Now, normally, Don, if you've got that ball for a fraction of a second in the end zone, it's a touchdown.
Exactly. Well, it's third down. Will they do it again? Play fake and throw. They will. Another throw, another catch, touchdown. That's the rookie fullback, Scott Green, in the end zone. And the Carolina Panthers build their lead. It's 26-16 with the extra point coming up.
Well, this is the first touchdown for Mr. Green. Nice catch. Nice, easy. That's too easy. Easy at the top of the screen. Easy to the tight end who dropped it. Easy at the bottom. That's not very good defense.
Extra point is powered through by the NFL's leading scorer, John Casey. And Carolina Panthers have built a 27-16 lead. They'll kick off when we come back. We're back at Charlotte, North Carolina, where Scott Green, a rookie fullback from Michigan State, just caught the touchdown pass that extended Carolina's lead over the Baltimore Ravens to 27-16 with the extra point. Now the kickoff. John Casey booms the left foot into it. And here comes Randy Baldwin for the Ravens. Cut down at the 25-yard line. Coming down to make the play was Michael Bates, who not only returns kicks, but he also makes the tackles on them.
Now let me show you the path that's so important on this touchdown. Look at your fullback. He's going to come at a path as if he's going to block and then come on out in for the touchdown. The actual angle, see, he comes like he's going to block that guy, lets him go, and that's why he's all alone for the easy touchdown. They practice the route, the exact path.
And a good play fake by the quarterback. Kerry Collins helps set it up. Now Vinny Testaverde having to throw down by 11 up the middle of the field. He makes the connection. Ball on the field. Free ball. Brett Maxey has it. They're going to rule him down. They're ruling him down. So the Ravens fortunate there as Testaverde almost with his second pickoff of the day, and Dallas beats New England. They both go to 10-5.
First down.
Well, let's see if he's down by contact. To throw. Yeah, looks like he's down. Good call.
Testaverde on first down, stands in, fires hard again, and he's almost picked up, but it's caught off a tip. Has Michael Jackson on a tip ball. Comes down with a 9-yard reception. That very nearly was run back the other way.
Well, that's what happens in a Pro Bowl season. If you get you get balls bouncing out of people's hands. See, this is another great play. Oh, that should have been caught. Safety number 37, Chad Cota. That would have been his second great interception of the day. And Michael Jackson very fortunate as he adjusts his earring.
You remember that Chad Cota intercepted Vinny Testaverde's first pass of this day. Ran it back 20 yards, and then they kicked a field goal.
The great Lamar Latham shaken up a little bit on that play, but I think they pointed at the hip like he might have got a slight shot into the hip bone.
Vinny Testaverde, he'll be firing all out the rest of the way. His team down by 11, needing 2 touchdowns. Testaverde today has thrown 35 times, 19 completions for 224 yards. One interception that on that first throw of the day. But Vinny, in situations like this where you have to throw, in grave danger of being picked off, as he almost was in the last play. Kevin Green, he has a sack today, 14.5 for the season to lead the NFL. Testaverde stands in, throws down the middle, and makes the connection for a first down to the 41-yard line. Chad Cota makes the stop on Floyd Turner.
Some good receivers in this game today.
There are. As you pointed out, the middle of the field is open a lot. Now to Bam Morris, who runs the ball, and that'll take us down to the 2-minute warning. As he gets the ball back to the line of scrimmage, maybe gained a half-yard. Kevin Green stopped him. So 2 minutes to play in the game. Carolina leading 27-16. And the Baltimore Ravens desperately trying to mount a scoring challenge. Panthers kicking up back here now.
That's a bad Panther.
At the house rocking. Eddie Marchibroda wait to see if they can keep hitting throws against the real Panthers out here, the Carolina Panthers. Second down and 10 coming up. 2 minutes to play in the game. 6 defensive backs in the game now for Carolina, spread out all over the field. Here comes the rush. Testaverde gets it away. A man is open. He's intercepted. Picked off by Tyrone Poole, who's on his way. And finally, they get him down at the 41-yard line, and that's lights out. Carolina will win for a 6th consecutive game and go to 11-4 in just their second year in the NFL. A 35-yard return on the interception.
Well, this is just an amazing effort by a franchise. Everybody covered. Vinny throws the ball late because the pocket broke down. So Poole had time to catch up, get underneath the football, and make one heck of a return. play was really set up, though, by the rush. Pocket broke down. Then he had to run around in the pocket looking for an alley to throw through. By the time he could throw, the players were too far downfield for him to throw it far enough.
Now they'll run the ball, will the Carolina Panthers. Each team with 2 timeouts remaining. Anthony Johnson gets to the 41. And Baltimore uses one of its timeouts. They have one left with 1:37 to play. But again, a second half lead doesn't hold up for Ted Marchibroda and his Ravens. Gary Collins and the Panthers with second down coming up. Go back to the straight ahead run. And again, Carolina will signal for and get allotted a timeout. And now, actually, Baltimore getting the timeout. The Ravens powerless to stop the clock anymore the rest of this game. They're out of timeouts with 1:33 left to play. Anthony Johnson, 78 yards for the day. Hard-earned yards on 25 carries. And he has a touchdown. The quickest trips to the franchise of any franchise in any sport to the playoffs, Chicago Bulls made it in their first season. Carolina Panthers made it in their second. Colorado Rockies in their third. The Cincinnati Bengals also were in the playoffs in their third season in the NFL, 1970. There's Bill Polian, the man who built the Buffalo Bills from the front office to the team that they were when they went to 4 straight Super Bowls.
He signed all of the Pro Bowlers, 7 Pro Bowlers from this team this year, and he signed them all as free agents. That's identifying the right people and bringing them in.
He knows who can play and who can't. You have him on your side, you're going to have a winner. Handoff. Anthony Johnson working hard on third down. Gets it to the 48-yard line. Not risking a turnover. The Panthers playing conservatively, letting the clock run. Baltimore out of timeouts.
You know, the people who complain about the new system in the NFL of free agency, you need only look at the Carolina Panthers story to realize that it's a vehicle that allows a team to make a tremendous story. And what a story this is. I mean, they were able to go out, buy the right people, use the draft just a little bit, and develop a team that has the NFL saying, what in the world is going on in Charlotte?
It is a phenomenal success story. It really is. Every aspect of this team. I mean, the stadium is the best. The team is in the playoffs. It could be on a home field for a divisional playoff game. And it's just, well, you pointed out, the owner wants everything, buy the best of everything.
That's right.
And it's a great tribute to organizational management.
He'll give you what you need to go and succeed.
Former receiver for the Baltimore Colts, Jerry Richardson, took his first NFL championship check of $4,860. Got in the fast food business. Build it up to the point where he can buy an NFL team. Here is Jermaine Lewis, living dangerously in his own end, hemmed in and swept under at the 12-yard line. White Stone brought him down. So now the Carolina Panthers, unbeaten at home. They're 7-0 in the stadium this year. They'll be home and favored to beat the Steelers next week. Pittsburgh, a playoff team, also will be coming in ill humor after the Steelers were beaten today by San Francisco at Pittsburgh.
Well, if you think this was a story today, you wait and take a look at Dom Capers.
Yep, from Pittsburgh.
From Pittsburgh, taking on his old team. 2 very similar defenses. This Carolina defense better. Kevin Green going up against a team that he, quite frankly, is not exactly happy with.
Testaverde ready to fire. Now he's going to go to the run, conceding the game as he hands off to Bam Morris. And that could do it, as the Carolina Panthers are going to go to 11-4 in their second season. That's Jim McNally, the outstanding offensive line coach of Carolina, who built some of the great offensive lines at Cincinnati.
Ted Marchibroda will be back, though. He's got an offense He's got a defense when healthy.
But the Carolina Panthers in their second year have a playoff team. Once again, our final score, Carolina 27, Baltimore 16. Coming up next on NBC Sports, it's Game 2 of our NFL doubleheader. Most of you will see an AFC West matchup as the Broncos battle the Oakland Raiders. Others will see Kansas City take on the Indianapolis Colts. Now for Beasley Reese, this is Don Criqui saying so long from Charlotte, North Carolina. You've been watching the NFL on NBC.